Welcome to the road to the NHC. I'm Scotty McKeever, my co-host David Harrison, 2022 NHC champion, and we're happy to be with you. Essentially what this show is about is teaching you how to get on the tour, get on horsetourneys.com, get on horseplayers.com, and join us and get involved in playing tournament play. It's real easy to do. Most of the time you're dealing with mythical bets, and essentially it's just a $2 win in place mythical bet. You'll see this today. We're going to play in the feeder today, which starts in race number 1 at Saratoga, race number 2, race number 3, as well as Gulfstream Park 2, 3, and 4. That's about an hour and 20 minutes, and then you're finished. It's $18 to enter into that, and make sure you have an NTRA account. It's $50 to join. Good morning, Crypto Light, Ken, Ashley. What up, Ashley? Mike in the house. Paul, what's going on? It's David. How are you? It's good to be with you today, and super excited. You might hear a little bit of banging in the back because we're moving into the new house and there's some construction going on with the cabinets, but I don't think it's going to bother anybody.
Good. Well, welcome and congrats on the new home. I know I've done a few new homes over my lifetime, and it is an exciting process. So congrats. And also wanted to wish all the horse players out there a happy Saratoga opening weekend. I hope everybody had a good opening day yesterday. I was pretty successful. My goal was, because they took races off the turf and it was all dirt, and I thought it was approachable, was to play a pick 6. Unfortunately, I didn't have the $90 horse in the later races, and that to me was a wide open race, and you had some favorites that didn't run too well. But other than that, it was still a pretty profitable day, so we're looking to expand on that today. And thanks, Greg. I did win an NHC seat last week, fortunately, so I got my second seat. And just so everybody knows who's following the show, that I don't have to worry about Christopher Clement's barn anymore, because I had him on Island Fox in the 9th race, and it was a $30 horse. So first time turf, and I believe it was Tyler Pratt on the horse. I mean, the horse had turf breeding. That's my angle in a spotty turf race with turf, where the turf form is spotty with the starters. I'm looking for a horse that's a price first time on turf that might have breeding. That's value. So thank you so much. I can't wait for more people to join us there at the NHC this year, next year. So thanks again.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of people that have already committed to coming out to Vegas and joining us. So it's going to be such a good time. We're running the race here, the race simulator. You can see the 5 horses closing on the 2. The 2 is going to have an easy lead, though, David, and it's 2-5 on the EquinEdge morning line, 56% to win, top pace number by far, also the top GSR by far. I mean, this 2 horse has a lot going for it. Obviously, we're not using this horse in the tournament. It's got some 3-star works from Bruno. Flavian Pratt, it jumps aboard. Was aboard last time out, too. But you know what? For my liking, this horse just stopped too badly for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this horse, to be honest with you, Scotty. Now, Chanteuse is a filly. There's a 7 furlong maiden special weight. So this filly was at Saratoga for the Belmont Racing Festival. June 6th was that Friday. And I will tell you, because I was there for 2.5 days, that it was an especially speed favoring track. So the way to approach those races, in my opinion, is going forward that any horse that is a closer and didn't have any response may have been compromised. In this case, this horse got a clear lead and kind of just packed it in, and they're pretty fast fractions. But yeah, this horse could easily go wire to wire. My concern, Scotty, is watching the races yesterday, that you still look like you have to be close to the lead, close to the pace. Now, that could be due to the rain that they had. They had torrential rain, like 1.5 inches of rain on a Wednesday evening. So it may still be a speed favoring track. With that being said, this horse is going to be 4-5. Some theory is that you just take the price and go with it no matter what, if this is a free square. But I'm going in a different direction here. I'm going to try to make a case for Reliable Lady. It's morning line 3rd choice. So, this horse has 3 starts. She is cutting back from a mile on the turf at Gulfstream, and that was a pretty fast race, and she was bumped at the start. I like the cutback when you're trying 7 for these maidens, 3-year-olds. The cutback, the 1 mile race to me should give her some conditioning. So then cutting back to 7, I think she can stalk and be relatively close. And Cassiano picks up the mount. I like that. So I'm gonna try with the 3, and just also comment that the 1 horse for Al Saul could be long gone here. I'm not sure. He had a starter yesterday that dug in really tough on the rail and held on. So yeah, so to me, I'm going to use the 3, and I guess I would, playing 2 tickets, I'd back it up with the 1, trying to squeeze out the 2 here. So how'd you look at this race, Scotty?
So Reliable Lady, I have a note on this horse, and it says very talented, bad trip here. That was in the horse's second start on April 4th. Low GSR, but runner nonetheless. So, or nonetheless is what I put. Fix that. Then last time out on the turf, the GSR dropped to 44, and the horse still lost by 2.5 lengths. You can clearly see that this horse can run. That being said, Chanteuse has a 82 GSR. I mean, this is Saratoga, and the low GSR there at 56. It is going up, as you can see the arrow going up. But Chanteuse is interesting. I saw this right here. Look at this note here by Bruno. Chanteuse worked with Candide, who had a horrible trip in the Breeders' Cup Filly, and broke terrible trip and barely lost and got 3rd. And then I know Candide has her issues, but Chanteuse outworked Candide big time. So I got to keep coming back to this horse. And Chanteuse was much best. I don't know what happened to Chanteuse. I would imagine that something was amiss. They're going to fix this issue. And that being said, the horse is going to probably go off super low, 8-5 right now. But I think it's going to be every bit of 2-5, and it's not worth it no matter what. So I think you're on the right horse. I think we should look at the 5 horse, though. This horse is decent. Second off the layoff is the angle that I would go with. Chad Brown, Manny Franco. It's the EquinEdge second pick. And you might get 5-1. I mean, if you end up getting, let's just say $4 per place, well, and these odds all might go up, because if Chanteuse goes off at 2-5, then you could see, Martingale at 6 or 7-1, and who knows, you might get $5-6 for a place. So, but I do think it's between these 3 horses, 2, 3, and 5. So it makes no sense to be using the 2. I think my angle on both of my entries is going to be use the 3 on one and use the 5 on the other. Oh, what I would do? Oh, if you had 2, excuse me. I'm thinking about the qualifier. So as far as the feeder goes, you got to use, if you're only playing 1 entry, you're using the 5 or the 3. Good morning. What's up, Dave? Hey, John.
Hey, Dave.
Good morning, Curtis. We got all the crew here today.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
Yeah, it's nice. It's so great to see familiar faces, and I know it just makes you feel at home. It's nice. I love this show with you, David. I really enjoy covering these races, and I'm really enjoying the tour right now. I'm in second right now, and Dave's in 6th right now. I mean, holy hell, what place are you in right now? I mean, you're right there too.
I'm with my win on actually 3rd place. So I think I got 2,800 points. I'm in 46th, so I'm a little behind. But if you look at the half-year leaderboard, I have 11,000 and some odd points, and you have 12. I'm like 1,500 off the half-year leaderboard. So that's possibly, that's a mindset that I have to keep in mind, that I may chase that half-year leaderboard.
When does that end? When does that half-year end? Because
I believe it's Labor Day, so it's plenty of time. Okay. And I guess my approach is either going to be going for that half-year leaderboard. It's a BCBC seat, and or my next goal is the BCBC seat, so it would make sense. So going forward, I'm looking for that BCBC seat, and if I happen to do well in one of these Friday contests, and then I might be forced to chase the tour. So we'll see how it goes. But it's so I'm so relieved to have that second seat. So it takes a lot of pressure off. And sometimes when you make picks with no pressure or less pressure, you do better. Obviously, scared money never wins, or when you're pressed to win, Yeah. So we'll see.
It ends September 2nd, Dave says.
September 2nd.
So look, I think before we leave this race number one, we should talk about the one horse. It's only 3%, and that's interesting considering that Irad's aboard this horse. The EE morning line's 5-1, which is the second lowest morning lines. But look at these workouts. So let's just see what it says. Action was third best. Lord and Wonder went past the wire and 1 minute flat. So it looks like the workouts are pretty nice. 3-star. Let's take a look at this work here for Bruno. So it looks like I think I'm trying to read this right. Is it Lord I Wonder is in the middle?
Not sure.
Let's see here. 2 wide. Lord I Wonder 2 wide. So it must be in the middle. Very nice looking horse.
Yeah, I wonder if she was working out with that winner yesterday. Not Silver State. Hold on a second. Yes. So Alsol had a winner on the rail yesterday.
Yeah, I remember that.
A maiden breaker. Well, actually, it wasn't the first time. I think it was her second start. But she was game. She fought along the rail. She was almost passed. I think she was headed and came back.
Well, this one clearly was better than the 2. Soon we're going to have links on all these horses, and so you'll be able to see how good these other 2 horses are, even in their workouts if they've never run before. But if you look at the elbows of Lord I Wonder, never even asked, and the other 2 are all out. So I mean, it was a nice workout for Lord I Wonder for sure. So Irad jumps aboard, does draw the rail. I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Strong State did have the rail yesterday. It was a second start, and she went off at slightly more than even money. But so her last work was June 29th. Is that what you have there?
Yes.
Churchill 3 furlongs? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she worked along with her. She got 3 stars in that race. So they worked together. Yeah, this horse is eligible to win. I mean, but again, first-time starter, rail break. I usually don't love for a first-time starter, but again, there's a possibility this track is definitely, if not speed bias, speed favoring, and the inside looked good yesterday.
Which race?
That was the 6th race at Saratoga, the maiden special for 2-year-old fillies.
So Strong State. So June 29th, Strong State. And Something Stronger.
Right. So and Strong State went off at 6-5, which I was surprised. So then I'm like, well, this horse definitely must be live, so I've got to use it. And fortunately, I did have the exact, but yeah. So I'm thinking maybe that a repeat is in mind for All-Star. But again, some of the ways I approach the Saratoga meet, Scotty, is Irad's always overbet. So if it comes to the point where I like 2 horses in a contest race, I try to fade Irad because you're not getting much value. And now with Pratt riding so well, they're going to start betting the heck out of Pratt. So either those 2 jocks I try to stay away from if I can, looking for more value. And that's basically contest races only.
So Manny Franco was aboard this 5 horse. It just looks okay. For me, I would agree with you. For those of you that are choosing between the 3 and the 5, I think the 3 is probably a little bit better than the 5, but the 5 is closing. You can see on the simulator, when you go from the stretch to the finish and you see the double blue here, that means the horse is finishing really fast. But the 3 is finishing fast as well, and about a length in front at the turn. So the 5 is going to be coming. Will it be too late? I don't know. It looks like the 2 has a big pace advantage, but the 5 is going to be closing. This is for a short field, and then you got to throw the 1 in here. Who knows what's going to happen here? The one thing I do try to ignore is the what's up, Wiz? I try to ignore win percentages when one horse is taking so much of the win percentages, right? So when you have the 2 horse taking so much, if you were to throw this out, I'm not saying the 3% looks good, but it doesn't look so bad, right? So if you don't love the 2, then you're not using the 4, and I don't think you're using the 6 horse. Oh, the 6 is a second-time starter who you never.
Yeah, I was trying to make a case for the 6, and I almost pulled the trigger on it. And this is a $475,000 filly out of Justify. Went to the turf first time out, didn't lift a hoof, but this is dirt. I mean, so that's a conditioning race too, just like the 3 did. It wouldn't surprise me if this horse ran well.
I think they overpaid for this horse. I really do. And I'll tell you what, look at the tabs. First of all, 67 on the dirt, 65 on the turf. I mean, they're right there. Synthetic is 69. I mean, I just think, like, I would never pay $400 and something thousand, knowing what I know about the breeding and the GSR Plus grid now. I'm not paying this kind of money for a horse with numbers this low. I'm just not. Like, horses that win graded races and nice races are all, horses that have numbers in the high 70s, 80s, and 90s, right? And you're talking about horses. I just think that they overpaid for this horse, and you've got a 10% trainer. I'm not seeing the 6 at all.
Right. The only thing is, a lot of, in my opinion, 3-year-olds, colts, and also fillies, they can tend to improve greatly from race to race because they're still learning the game. The same thing with 2-year-olds, but you'll see that early in the 3-year-old, mid-year of the 3-year-old season. So I'm almost tempted to say that, yeah, maybe I'd use, if I had 3 entries, maybe I'd just throw the 6 on one. I'd be interested to see how the 6 runs, but at this point, I'm going in favor of the 3 over the 5 or 6.
Well, Castellano jumps in the 3. I have a note on the 3. The horse is 20% to win against a 50 SOR group. The horse only had a 44 GSR, and it ran 4th by 2.5 lengths. The GSR goes up 12 points now. Win percentage is similar and facing a little bit easier. I think a lot is pointing towards the 3 horse running a good race, and especially if the 2's no good, then now the 2's going to have a big pace advantage. But it had. It had an advantage here, though. And look at it. I mean, it just stopped. Like, that's a little disconcerting for sure. And I don't think there's any way you can use a horse like this. I really do think it's about the 2 and the 5. And there's no way the 1's going to be – I would highly doubt the 1's going to be as fast as the 2. Maybe Irad goes. So if the 1 doesn't go, then it's going to not get a good trip from the inside, and it's going to have the 3 and the 5 to contend with. And if it tries to go, it's going to be dueling with the 2 horse who's going. So I just think using the 3 or the 5 makes sense in this context. All right, we got to head on to race number 2.
Okay.
Well, who are you? You're going to use the 3 for sure, right?
Yeah, I'm going to use the 3. And if I had a second ticket, I'm not sure. I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm going to use the 2 as a backup or the 6. I would fade the 5 personally. But on that January 27th race where the horse was eased and then had to lay off, comes back to Monmouth. There's too many question marks to me with that filly. So yeah, let's just go with 3. If I had 2 tickets, I'm going to use 3 on both.
All right, I'm gonna use the 5. I like the workouts coming into this race. 8-42 here on July 5th. And coming into this race, if you look at the works, 34 of 162, 46 of 182. The works were really good. I think this horse is doing well. I think second off the layoff, you're going to see a better race from the 5. It's the EquinEdge second pick. Let's go for the 5 for me. Okay, race number 2. Let's run the simulator. We use our, I have to look at it, but let's see, when our jockey owner win percentage is updated for year to date, I see some tracks where the percentage seems off when basing it. We don't have owner win percentages, so I'm not really sure what you mean. to be honest with you. Our stats are always 2 years. Whatever stats you're looking at, there are 2 years. Let me know if you see something off, though, and I'll have it looked at. Okay, talk to me, David.
Okay, this is a 6.5 furlong race on the dirt at 9 was a 2 lifetime. And this is kind of my specialty. And again, the reason why I was all pumped up yesterday, because they took all the races off the turf. I had to deal with dirt, and I know dirt very well at Saratoga or the NYRA circuit. So, this race is still kind of wide open. So you're going to see a lot of horses who've had chances, and you're 1 for 10, 1 for 10, 1 for 14, 1 for 11. So what I'm looking for here is either an excuse in the last race or somebody dropping down. And so I had a little bit of difficulty in here. But the one thing after looking at it that stood out on paper to me, Scotty, that there's not much speed in here. If you look, besides the one who's got the pace metric advantage 73 over the Passion Moon, that's not I think it'll be a contested pace, but somebody with the way the track's been yesterday, somebody could, I think you're going to have to be close to the pace. So originally I looked at the 1 or 3. I'm not sold on from Delaware and then dropping down to 20. None was a 2 lifetime again. That race, the horse didn't run particularly well. Granted, the horse did get 3rd. So I'm looking at Pascal Moon, who dropped down to this level last time out. That's 6.5. Ran a pretty decent race. So I would, to me, the 3 is a big contender and a horse I would consider. I'm going to fade Stormquest a bit because we're talking about a 3-year-old against older, even though we're coming up to, probably in the middle of the time of year where 3-year-olds get better against older, and we've seen a few of the last couple of weeks. So that's becoming less of a factor. I'm not sold with Dillinger, the big drop down, who's basically a Delaware, Laurel, Pimlico type of horse with Brittany Russell. The horse I'm trying to make, Scotty, is the 4 Giants Fire. I do have a lot of concerns about this horse because I've been chasing this horse for a long time. This horse is 1 for 11, of course. None was a 2 lifetime. That makes sense, right? And you can say, well, 4th race off a layoff. But to me, if there was no improvement, 3rd race off a layoff, you usually don't get any additional improvement, in my opinion. But I like the drop down from 40, none was a 2 to 25. I think this horse, if this horse can't get it done today, they're going to keep dropping it, I guess. But the one thing that I will give this horse a pass on that last race is there's a trouble line. This horse got bumped at the break, didn't get off well. In order to win this race, this horse has to get off to a good start. If this horse can basically lay pretty close to the pace and get a good start, I am going with the 4. I think this horse has got a big chance today. But my second horse would be the 3, just because of the fact that he can lay close to the pace to the 1. So yes, it's 4. I'll take 4 as my main pick, and I would use 3 as a secondary pick with 2 entries. So it would be 4-3 for me. How'd you see this race, Scotty?
Well, I really do believe that the 1 and the 3 are going to duel. The 3, though, goes up in win percentage. GSR stays the same, facing similar. Draws only faced 4 other horses last time out. I think that the 3 horse needs to be forwardly placed, can rate a very little, and the 1 needs the lead. They're both good breakers, and so they have similar speed. If you look at the race simulator, the 1's in front of the 3 a little bit. But what I noticed was, even in the second call, look, there's 5 of them right here. So I think the 4 horse, your horse, is an interesting horse, Giants Fire. I think the EquinEdge top pick is an interesting horse. You know who might be an interesting price play if, for whatever reason, there ends up being 3 or 4 horses to go, is this 2 horse, Solo in Paris. Look at the way this horse is finishing. I like back here, and then look, I'm just saying for a long shot, it's not a bad play. And this horse could end up getting off at 20-1 easy. And so it's not the worst looking play and long shot play in the world. So, and if this horse does win and you don't have it, you're most likely not gonna get into the qualifier. So,
right,
might be worth playing defensively. But I like that. So, and let me just tell you about the 7. The 7, if you think about it, sits a perfect trip. Going to be tactical right off the 1 and the 3. It's not the best breaker in the world, but if you throw out the last 2 races against a 58 group, the GSR is about the same. The win percentage goes up, and it draws an outside post, and it's the 3rd fastest horse in the race, and it's tactical, and it has IRAD. This horse sits an amazing trip. Like, this is the horse to beat in my mind.
Yeah, I looked at this horse, and again, as I mentioned in the previous race, I'm going to try to stay away from Irad in these contest races if I can, unless I think it's a free square. The concern I have is this horse seems to be a lot faster when this horse ran it on the West Coast with Bob Baffert. And also, since that layoff from June of 23 till April, this horse hasn't come back and run very well at all. So I have concerns. This horse obviously is being dropped down to 25 claimer. So maybe trying to get this horse could be popular at the claim box today, you would think. But I'm not sure if this horse has anything. So you've got to show me at least a little improvement in form here before I would go with a horse like that who's morning line 2-1. So I kind of faded Dillinger in this case.
Yeah, I completely understand. It's interesting though that Irad gets aboard. The SOR drops from 58 to 52, which is a big drop. 3 races back, when the horse went on the shelf, the horse was faced a 50 group and won pretty easily. And it's like the fact that Brittany Russell has kept this horse protected up until today, tells me that maybe this horse has been doing pretty good, but maybe it's just not the same horse anymore.
Right.
And it's been off since May 23rd. It has been working out decent. Like, it's an 8-40 right here. It seems decent. It's going to get a really nice trip. It just might be too classy for these, no doubt about it. Like, it's a tough call. It's a tough call. I definitely personally don't like the 1 and the 3, but and we didn't look at the 6 horse. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the 6 horse. It is dropping down in win percentage. GSR goes up a little bit, and it's facing a little bit tougher. But that's off a layoff. So Zito could have this horse ready off the layoff. He's 8% off the layoff. And Tyler Gaffleone jumps aboard. And jockey trainer combination 0 for 7. So the simulator doesn't really like the horse that much. I'm just saying, off the layoff, you never know, whatever the issues were with this horse, but it's been about 7 months this horse has been off, so about 9 months actually. I'm struggling with this one a little bit because I really do like the 4 and the 5, the EquinEdge picks. I think the 7 horse on the drop-in class with Irad could sit an absolute perfect dream trip, and that's what you're looking for as well. Like, when you're looking to cover horses, you want the trip. I would have loved to see the horse running a little bit better against the 58 groups. That would have been an easy call for me then. But it's still, I don't think you're calling Irad to jump on your horse if maybe, look, you were 6 wide here over in this Delaware race. This 7, if it's good enough, is going to have an absolute dream trip. So I'm struggling a little bit. Then I look at this 2 horse and I'm like, man, it's kind of tempting to see this horse finishing on the simulator. And so you're going to go with the 4.
Yeah, I'm going with the 4. And again, I think part of the reason is that I've been chasing this horse too long. If it wins by 5 lengths and I didn't have it, I'd be like, So this is the last shot for me with Giants Fire. So, and I would use the 3. I basically in my horizontal wagers, if I was playing pick 4s and pick 5s, I'd probably use the 3 and 4 here. Did we talk about the 5?
Yeah, see, that's the one I'm on right now that I really want us to look at carefully because look at that horse against a 60 SOR group was, it got second. It was only 4 other horses in the race though, and it was 19%. I mean, the win percentage actually drops in here, showing how difficult this race actually is. it's super interesting to me that this 3-horse that you like a little bit actually jumps up in win percentage against this group with a new trainer who's only 7%. That's super interesting. I just don't like the horse's style. I mean, and the you have to remember that the win percentages don't look at a horse's style. They just don't. So you should consider that, considering it looks like this horse probably needs the lead for its best, and the one's going to be fast. So knowing all that, I don't think I can use the 3, although you can see the simulator has the horse right there. Talk about the 5 real quickly. I mean, what are your thoughts on the 5?
Yeah, I faded the 5 only because this horse has had a number of chances at the optional claim of 50. Now, those were 3-year-old races, right? So this is the first time that he's stepping in against 3 and up.
Good point.
Now, again, it's getting to the point we're almost in August, so that becomes less and less of a factor as you're getting into the late summer, fall months. But yeah, that's the reason. I mean, I'm not sure that this horse has a lot of ability, but based on the claim, there's your angle. I'm sorry, based on the drop, that's your angle, dropping from 50 to 25. So the horse got a shot, but at 5-2 morning, I'll let that horse beat me. The other thing I wanted to point out about the 3 before I forget is the reason why I was considering that horse such a strong win candidate is that after the claim on May 24th, this horse had a really good workout on June 12th at Belmont, 47 and breezing, and has been working pretty consistently. The last other 2 works have been decent, and I prefer the work be over Saratoga track, but yeah. So with that. With those reasons, and probably about the 5, I'm fading the 5 because the 3-year-old facing older. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and James Ferraro is 10% with first-time out claims.
Not usually my cup of tea, but yeah. Saratoga's a little different sometimes. We'll see. I think he's going to have some winners this meet at Saratoga.
Yeah, and then Wiz brought up the 2 horse as well. This is an interesting horse. I mean, look at 12 of 102 here, and this 6 of 44 here on May 27th. I mean, this horse is training very nicely. Win percentage doesn't go up. GSR doesn't go up. It's still the same as it was last time out. And there's just something about this race. I mean, it's a really tough race. You have some horses that have burned some money.
Yeah, my concern with the 2 would be the lack of speed, and the way the track was playing yesterday. You got to show me that you can close on this track from so far back. So, and hi, Mike, how's it going?
Mike in the house as well. What's up, Mike?
I think for the 2 to have a shot, Scotty, there's got to be like a really contested pace and kind of a pace. We've seen races fall apart. And if that happens, the 2's got a shot. But I don't. You'd have to show me a race like that. So I'm going to tread lightly on any closer of the first couple days of the meet.
I would imagine Linda Rice has got to be really disappointed with the performance of this horse, right? Of this 5.
Yeah, well, she was doing the same move last year before the Saratoga meet. She was in Kentucky claiming a bunch of horses at Churchill and Keeneland, and then she had a very good success rate with those claim horses at Saratoga, and that's why she tied with Chad Brown for leading trainer. She was interviewed the other day, and she said that she wasn't that confident in her crop this year up there. She's lacking a little bit. And so I'll take her at her word. So until she gets on a roll, I'm going to watch some of these horses. She didn't have a lot of confidence, and she's Linda's a straight shooter. She's going to tell you what's on her mind. So, and years ago, she just had mostly turf sprinters, and she actually won the meet back in the day. But she needs some of these races to come off the turf. And I'm not sure if this again. She's trying to get as many winners as possible. Is that the reason for the drop down? But we'll see. This horse definitely could win the race, but you got to look at morning line 5-2. I'll look for better in this case.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 7 horse because it's just my type of play. It's dropping big time in class. When it was at this level, it won easily. It's going up in win percentage. GSR is up just a little bit. It's facing much easier, and it's going to get a perfect trip, and it's tactical. And Irad jumps aboard. So I've got to just run with the 7 horse. I think the 7 is going to win the race. So I'm going there. All right, let's go with race number 3.
Okay, so race 3, run the simulator. We've got 1 mile and 1/16 on the inner turf, maiden special weight. For 3 and up, let's see how this simulator goes. Maybe that could solve some of my questions about this pace here. I was a little confused.
Yeah, it's not very clear as to what's gonna happen in this race. You've got 1 first-time starter in the 4. The simulator doesn't like it. The morning line doesn't mind it. The 1 and the 1A look to be right there. This looks like a wide open race. Why don't we defer to seeing maybe some of the workouts from Bruno? Let's see if we can learn anything. Okay, so here we have a second-time starter. George Weaver takes over for this horse, and George Weaver is 28%. That's actually pretty amazing. GSR is about the same, win percentage way up, and second off the layoff. So, okay, that horse clearly has a look. Since this horse has been in George's care, it had this 5 of 113, 34 of 127, 55 of 184, and they're just cruising, building stamina right here. And the horse did not run bad this time here, going 11 furlongs in its first start, as many first-time starters do. It broke bad and it went 8 wide. Clearly, this 1 horse, Steadfast, has a lot of talent. Clearly, there's no doubt about that. I would imagine that 1 is going to come out running. This one always run against big fields and run. I mean, look at this horse. I mean, it's lost in 3 races. It's lost by 3.5 lengths. So that horse is a player. No question about it. And you get Saez aboard for Pletcher. All right, the 2 horse, 0 for 11. This is not a horse. When you have lightly raced horses that have upside, I can't get down with this 2 personally. You? Good morning, Jen. Franco's aboard this. Go ahead.
Yeah, the way I looked at this race, Scotty, is this is one of those typical races for me where it's a maiden on a turf. I'm looking against horses who've had a number of starts and haven't broken their maiden. I'm looking for a new shooter possibly, or a lightly raced horse. So even though I think the 1A Storm Red is going to be really, really difficult to beat off that last race, he closed into 2 races back. This horse had a big time close and just missed by 3/4 of a length off a bump break. And it comes back with Trevor McCarthy on a good turf course and rallied late and lost to a Chad Brown horse. So there's nothing wrong with this horse. But when I see the thing that scares me off is when I see that morning line 6-5 and it's an entry. It's going to be absolutely no value. So in that case, I'm always going to look for the second price or somebody who's maybe not the second choice who can, if the horse doesn't win, it might get second and you'll have a decent place price. And the horse that I'm trying to use here and get on top is Clever Mischief, the number 6. This horse was, and it's another thing I wanted to point out going forward today, is that Saratoga is completely different than Aqueduct Downstate, right? Different track surface, different turf course, surroundings are totally different. So why, in a case like this, I'm looking for horses who've been acclimated to Saratoga more than some of the other horses in the race. This horse has been in Saratoga since May 25th, if not before then, prepping steadily for something, to me, for a turf race. Now, this horse was entered in the Belmont Racing Festival on June 7th. I was there at the track that day. It was on the dirt, speed favoring track. This horse didn't have any speed. It was totally compromised, bumped at the break. Was this horse looking for turf the entire time? And Chad said, hey, I have this horse in shape. I didn't find a turf race these 4 days of the racing festival. So let's just sprint this horse, Severn's a good, build up and stretch it out on turf. So I think this horse has got a big chance. And this is my angle, one of my big angles. So I can't resist this, to be honest with you. But I do have a concern with the GSR being only 50. Do I have that right? Yeah, 50 on the GSR.
49 on the tab.
49 okay, 49. Yep. Where Tom Collins has a much higher GSR, and I think that horse has got a shot, but I wouldn't use Tom off of a layoff like that. Shug usually needs a race or two to get going with these horses, so I'm going to use the 6. And if I had I guess I would use the 6 on both tickets because I'm not using a 6-5 shot in the contest. But to me, the race is 6-1.
All right. 2 turns on the turf. The GSRs are one of our best algorithms, and especially on the turf going 2 turns.
Yeah, that's what scares the hell out of me with this horse, to be honest with you.
I can't use a horse that has a 50. The only reason this horse, in my mind, is don't forget the EE Morning Line. The EE Morning Line, by the way, is our most accurate algorithm. And its job, though, is to predict what a horse will go off at. And when you have these connections, of course, it's 7-2. And I don't think this is that great of a horse. I know it's Chad Brown. I just don't think it's that great of a horse. I'm rooting for you. I don't have a dog in this show, but I do not like this horse at all. I don't see you beating the 1 or 1A, and the EquinEdge picks have that as well. Because I think they're that much of a sure shot, I just think you take the I don't like the 5 horse either. I don't like the 12-1 on the EE Morning Line at all. And I don't like the fact that this Claude McGahee is not good off a layoff, like you said. He needs 2 starts. And then this horse also faced a 44 group last time out and lost the race. So although this horse is not impossible, and Rosario seems to be riding really good right now, and it might be worth a price, I don't see it. I think if you're going to play a price horse, it might be this one here. I mean, maybe the 7. It didn't run terrible last time out, but the win percentage drops. Again, for all these same reasons we're talking about, when we look at these horses, none of them look all that great. I keep, just defer to 2 horses that look actually really good. I think this is a no-brainer. I think you take the points and hope that the entry goes off at 6-5. I think they're a slam dunk.
Right, and the only thing I'll add in this race is Tom Collins does get Lasix, because now he's a 3-year-old, and 2-year-olds can't race with Lasix. So maybe the horse may do okay, but I can't put the horse on top. So, but yeah, I agree. The one entry is going to be very difficult to beat. But again, 6-5, when I see that in a contest race. And I think if Clever Mischief wasn't in the race, Scotty, I'd probably just bite the bullet and use the 1. But in this case, I'm looking for. Now, again, the GSR does concern me. I will acknowledge that. But I'll have to go back to the NHC of 2022 when we're getting close to that final table. And I picked a horse first time on turf with one of the Ortiz brothers, who was 8, 9, 10-1. Bernardini was the sire, and at the table they were trying to talk me out of it, and I'm like, nope, it's really spotty turf form. This horse is, as long as he can run decent on a turf, he's got a shot. So I'm glad nobody talked me out of it, because it ended up paying $24. So yeah, so this is one of my angles, and that's the one thing as a horse player. At the end of the day, if you have a bad day or you miss the cut or NHC, as long as at the end of the day you can look yourself in the mirror and said, that's the play I wanted to make. If that horse beat me and I looked at him and one of my angles beat me and I went off of him because somebody talked me out of it or because of breeding,
for sure,
I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. So that's why if the 6 wins, I won't be able to deal. That'll irritate me. So
100%. You're absolutely right. I just think you're getting 2 for 1, and the 1 and 1A look to me like really good horses. All right, Gulfstream Park race number 2 is one of the 6 legs, and you can see the 7 horse is closing like an absolute champ. And this horse is 7-1 on the EE Morning Line and 10-1 on the Odds Makers Morning Line and the EquinEdge long shot. if you think you can beat the 6 horse, then the 7 might be your horse. The 6 horse is a horse to watch, but my goodness, this horse is burned money. It definitely needs the lead, so it's going to be all out, and it might well get the lead. It looks like it will get the lead, and it doesn't look like really anybody else can go with this horse, most likely, right?
Yeah, we've got, you're talking about
these 2 and the 7 are closing, and then the 5 horse is 19%, and it sits a good trip. What I don't like about this 5 is it's right here every time, and then it starts losing ground. It's always the type of horse that I try to play against, always. And so I think for that reason, I would try to probably beat this horse. But I think the interesting horses here really are the 2 and the 7. They're closing.
Yeah, let's go to the 5. 5 to me was the throw-out. I'm never taking 1 for 16 in a contest race. I do agree with you about the 6, 8 to 5 morning. Originally did not appeal to me, but as I went through the race, I have concerns. The 7 just broke its maiden. You got to show me that you can beat winners. The 2 who you mentioned, it's got a shot on the cutback, but that's a big cutback from a mile to 5. Even though this horse won at Tampa at 5.5, it was a maiden 16 claimer. The last 2 races that this horse has run have been awful. I think the 6 to me, my notes from early this morning were number 6, Zio Lorenzo, wire to wire, lock of the day, free square. Just go with it and move on. So I think it's a weak race, and I've been beaten too many times looking for closes on these 5 furlong to PETA dashes. So I'm going to bite the bullet here and go with the chalk.
Kevin Reed in that. Oh, I think I saw Kevin in there.
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah. Hello, Kevin.
What's up, Kevin?
Hello, Jen.
Jen in the house as well.
Yeah, Ashley, good point. The 7 won from the clouds yesterday in that 5th race.
Right.
That was the only race that, and again, was it really a pace meltdown or just really, shed some suspect on the quality of that field. So yeah, I mean, if you got a speed bias track, some races you may have a pace meltdown because everybody realizes, hey, we're all going for the lead. You got to be on the lead, and then they burn. Then the closer just comes from the clouds. But that doesn't have. You've got to show me that happens more than once to not be an aberration. So
yeah, and by the way, Zayas gets off of the 7 horse. And who he was aboard for that win. And you can see here when you look at the 7, although I think the 7's a player in here, but you can see he had an outside post, tactical speed. Most horses win from on or near the lead here, sprinting on the synthetic at Gulfstream Park. So you can see. And then now when you look at the race simulator, and you look at it, it actually shows the 7 won't be that far back at the first call. Well, okay, but the second call now 3.5 lengths back. So, yeah, the likelihood is that the 5 or 6 is going to win this race. That's the likelihood. And you might want to consider covering. I know this horse just broke its maiden. It's coming off a layoff. Sisterson is 13% first race back, 24% first time with a horse. So you might want to consider this. Well, that was actually the 4 horse. The 5 horse is going to be tactical, but it always loses ground. Yeah, it's making more of a case for your 6 horse, is what it is.
Right, and the one thing that solidifies that, my opinion, is that Police's barn's been good. They're 21%. They're all their horses recently have been running solidly. So again, if you look at the 5, might be your other pick. 1 for 16, and the barn is 0 for 13. So until I'll go with the harder trainer too.
Yeah, let's see the jockey trainer combination with the 5 horse. Yeah, I mean, why do I just feel like there's a horse we're missing here that maybe we should be considering? That's maybe it's the 1, maybe it's the 7.
Yeah, the one that I wanted to mention. what about the 3? The only issue is first time to PETA, but this horse is somewhat of a drop down off a layoff. I didn't love the layoff. This horse has to show me that he can run on the Tapeta surface. I give that horse a start on a Tapeta first.
Well,
and
it
one
like,
had a good work.
It looks like in Ireland, it looks like this horse was running on the synthetic, but the GSR does drop on the synthetic. And it does have the layoff to contend with. There's got to be an angle here somewhere other than using the 6 horse, who's probably going to go off at 3 to 5.
Well, if you look at the, hold on a second. Oh, never mind. I'm looking at the race coming up. I'm like, hold on a second. We have a scratch, so there's no late scratch. How about the one Wine Emperor?
That's the one I'm looking at, David. The one is an interesting horse. I like this horse a little bit. I just think this there's something about this horse. It had blinkers last time out. Let's see what it's doing here.
And the trainer's
the horse was gelded.
And the horse was right. First time gelding. Mm-hmm.
First time gelding. There's been almost 2 months since, so I don't mind that. So maybe
good workout.
The workout.
The trainer is 27% is hot. I am not going to try to make. Well, I'm not making any attempt to pronounce the trainer's name, but we'll just leave it and call him the trainer.
I would say Parbu.
Okay.
Parbu would be it.
Okay.
I think the H is probably silent.
Okay. Yeah, this horse, had raced at a higher level on the turf, and then to PETA, 35, 50, drops down to 25. Really hasn't run that well. Lost to Lieutenant Stan. But this is the second time in blinkers also. So second time in blinkers, first time gelding. And I've seen worse long shot plays. Yeah.
No, I this is what it is. If you take a 3 to 5 shot, but it just looks like a cinch, in your mind, though, the 6 does look like a cinch. Is that correct? Like in my mind, it doesn't look like a cinch. I don't like how it lost ground last time out when it dropped to this level. Now, it does go up in win percentage. The GSR goes up. The truth is, I will say this, though. This looks like the speed of the race. Zayas gets off the 7 that he just won on. The SOR goes down, meaning look from 54 to 52. So he's facing a little bit easier. The win percentage goes from 16 to 42, and the GSR goes from 56 to 60. So all 3 of those metrics are doing exactly what you hope they would do, for sure.
Yeah, and also this horse looks like it's going to be long, the wire to wire easily, can have an easy pace. In a case like this, to me, I think you have to be close to the pace at 5 furlongs, and the most likely second place finisher to me is the 5. So if I'm keeping that in mind, I'm like, well, it's not going to. If the 5 finishes second, the 6 wins, you're not getting a good place price at all. So unless I thought the 1 had a decent shot, I could use somebody like that for the place price. But that horse comes from far back.
You know what? You know what else? Look at when you take the closest speed horses that there are. Look to the 6. It would be the 1 and the 5. And if you look at the 1, it's not a good breaker, and it draws the rail. And the 5 horse is an absolute poor breaker as well. So 6 could actually have a 2 or 3 length lead early on. Going to be tough to catch this horse. I got to get on this bandwagon. I'm sorry. I actually like the 7. In fact, on my email, I have the horses to watch algorithm that pops up. It actually popped up this 7 horse. So for those of you, Mike's on this 7. I understand it, but I don't. The 1 and 5 are not good breakers. The 5 keeps burning money. The 1 just got gelded. Gelding's only come back to win 11% of the time. I'm gonna go with you on this one, David. I hate to do it, but I think the 6 horse is probably going to be really tough to beat. And we know that speed just continually holds, and so I think and Zayas gets off of the 7 horse. So I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to go with the 6 with you.
Okay, 6 for Scotty.
All right. Let's run race number 3. Again, the feeder today is race 1, 2, and 3 from Saratoga, and then races 2, 3, and 4 from Gulfstream Park. I mean, the one might have it all his own way. No, in the beginning, no. So if we sort the pace number, 7, 8, and 2, 3's right there. We have to look at their styles. And I mean, I always say in second time starters, it's always the ones that run good the first time that never run good the second time. And the ones that have some issues, and run. I mean, look at the 2 was on the rail, the 8 was on the rail last time out, broke 7th. The 7 horse was on the rail last time out, second off a layoff. I mean, there's getting 109 pounds on this 3 horse who's 5 to 1. That's interesting. 5 to 1 connections like this with a bug. This horse is dropping 9 pounds. And this horse is 5 to 1 on the E morning line and 20%. That's interesting.
And there's a drop down in class.
And yeah, you're right. Big drop in class. Very interesting horse.
Second time blinkers.
Second time blinkers. Yep. When we look at changes, blinkers are on the 2 horse for its second start. Big GSR jump. I mean, look at the GSR on this 7 horse. That's big. Draws a good post, gets off the rail, second off the layoff, and the GSR is jumping from 56 to 67. It's a very interesting horse.
Yeah, the Scotty, that's the way this horse to me is really interesting. With keeping in mind that when I looked at the race originally, I look at the morning line, favorite 9 to 5. I'm Still Brave. I want no part of this horse. 0 for 15, and has raced been at the maiden 10 level at Tampa for a long time. 12-5. The last 2, 12-5 at Gulfstream. The last 2 decent races. I mean, could this horse win? Yeah, but I don't want any part of that. If I was going to be pressed to use a longer shot, I would prefer the 2, who's only at 1 start. 25 maiden, drops down to 12-5 with blinkers on. So there's an angle there. Blinkers on, the drop down. I always give a horse 1 race. 1 race means nothing to me. That could just be a conditioner. Some horses, especially younger horses, it takes them a little. Every horse is different. It may take them a little time for the light to go on to figure out the game. So 1 race, bad race doesn't concern me. But I'm all over the 7 Amazing Woo. I like that the switch back from the synthetic to the dirt. This horse had the rail last time out. Not sure that the rail is so great leaving in that spot. And the trouble line does concern me a little bit because it says rail left lead. So apparently this horse never changed lead. So I'm assuming this horse has been on a left lead the whole time. So to me, that this is a weak race.
But that also could be the horse getting tired as well.
Right. Yep. And the horse does stretch out, excuse me, from 5.5 to 6. And again, in a race that's spotty to me with 12-5 claimer, I was looking to make the 2. I'm not sold on the connections there. So I'm going to go with the 2 horses I'm focusing on is the 7 Amazing Woo, and then I'd probably back up with the 8 if I had a second pick.
Talk about the 8. So the 8 horse has a trouble line. 3/8 faded. It's not really. I mean, well, it still broke 7th. Maybe it's a slow breaker. Maybe it's not. It seemed to have an easy lead. Right, rushed up. The trainer is 10% for 1 win and 10 tries with first-time starters, and 0 for 8 with second-time starters. So usually you see your best with his horses. What I don't like about this horse is you can see it's going from 1% to 15% true, but it's also going from a 52 GSR to a 43. facing similar. So I have mixed feelings about this 8 horse. I think, you know, it can still run good, but I don't like that. I mean, look, this 3 horse is interesting too, because we talked about this 3 on the drop. I like the 7 and 3, trying to beat the 1 horse as well. Although the simulator has this 1 winning pretty easily. Let's see this again. First call, second call, third call. I mean, it's got the 1 winning by about a length and 3/4. I really do think the 3 horse is super interesting at 20%, and big drop in class, gets 109 pounds. Hard to take a jockey that's never won before, though, huh?
Yeah. In light, the concern. Well, the barn's 3 for 30. You know, it's the drop down is the reason to play this horse if you like.
The drop is the only reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the 4 horse? I mean, you know, I like to say in races like this, maybe you take the first time starters, right? Where the other ones are proven losers. I mean, you have the 5 horse here, True Cats, who's interesting.
Well, yeah, Elizabeth Doble's got 2 Prize Cats and True Cats.
Yep.
So
yeah,
and they're working together pretty slow. So that's why they're in for a 12.5. To me, if these connections, first time starter at 12.5, you got to show me that these horses can run.
I'm with you. 2% and 4% to win. The is this race so? I mean, this race is so bad. Maybe it just comes down to this 7 horse, and it comes down to this 1 and 8. Maybe it's just chalk. But you know, maybe the 8's the way to go in a race like this, because if the EE morning line is correct, you could get 6 or 7 to 1 on this horse, and could be a big time overlay.
Yeah, the 8. Let me just see something here. Yeah, I mean the 8's playable. You're cutting back from 7. Got off a little slow and then rushed up. Maybe if the horse gets off evenly and maybe guns right to the lead. Yeah, I guess it's a usable horse, the 8. And you get a better price.
That's a tough race. There's some tough races today.
Scotty, which races aren't tough?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about the 8 horse coming back so quickly? I mean, coming back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the reason I would use the 7 over the 8 is the barn. I mean, I don't like going with cold barns. Oh, was it 0 for 20 something? 0 for 23. So, to me, I like to jump on a barn that's hot, that's streaky. And as horse players, you know, or to me, I don't know about most of you out there. I'm a very streaky horse player. It's not by design. And then when you're on a good streak, same thing as a horse player. You want barns that are going on good streaks too. It means the horses are doing well. Everybody's pot. You know, it's like, and then you'll see the same barns at different meets go on a slump. And I'm not going to mention any particular trainers, but and some trainers point horses to specific meets that we may not be aware of. So.
Yeah. So let me tell you why I'm going to end up going with the 7 horse. The one's going to be the favorite. I think the 1 is the horse to beat. And the 3 horse, I just can't take a 0% jockey, even though the horse is dropping in class and getting low weight. The 3 can definitely win. With the 7 horse, this is what I see. In its very first lifetime start, it faced a 42 group with only 5% to win, and it broke 11 to 12 horses, and it rushed up. And even at the half-mile pull, it was only 6 lengths back. Then the jockey let off. I think right there, the horse already showed some talent. Then you come back off the layoff and you see Bruno's workout says came home in hand and was well within himself through the wire. Okay, that's a nice workout for a horse at this level. Then comes back, draws the rail, was only 4% to win, 56 GSR, faced a similar group as to today, and got a 3rd place finish. Showed some talent there. Now comes back, second off the layoff. GSR jumps up 11 points. Win percentage jumps up, 12 points. Draws a better post. Broke decent last time out, and it might even be the fastest horse in the race, possibly. So I think I got to go with the 7 horse. So I'm going to go with 7.
Okay, you're jumping on board the
All right, both of us
7
on
train. Okay.
All right. I think if I did have one concern, it would be that the 8 might have similar speed, and I do worry about that on the outside of the horse instead of the horse being able to get a breather. That's a possibility that could happen. So depending on how each of these breaks, hopefully the 8 breaks bad like it did in its first start, and the 7 breaks good and we'll be in front. But that actually could happen if we sort this, we run this. Look. The 8 is pressing the 7 on the outside if everything was to go perfectly. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But
right, and the pace metrics, it's between, you've got 3 who are real close, the 7, 8, and 2. The 2 is going to show speed with blinkers on the first time out. I had the rail and showed a little speed. We'll probably show more speed here. So, and you know, that horse does scare me a little bit, the 2 horse. I mean, I don't know. If I was at the NHC and this was a race that was an optional, I might take a swing with the 2 here. So, but I think
you're right. I mean, with the blinkers added, it's dropping in class from a 46 to a 40, and the GSR does go down a little bit, but it's a 6 furlong race on dirt. These are cheap horses. I mean, and if there is a weakness that I've seen in the simulator, it's the second time starters that run bad the first time out. And there's a possibility that this is a really good price horse. It's also 12 to 1 on the morning line. I mean, this could be a play. This definitely could be a play.
Right. And again, to me, as a horse player, you should be looking for angles for long shots, right? And here you have 2 angles. You have blinkers on and dropping to a 12.5. I mean, if this horse was still at the 25 level, no blinkers, no drop down, I'd probably pass on this horse totally. I'm not saying this horse is a likely winner, but I'm still going to use the 7. But the more I look at this race, and there's not a lot, I could justify using the 2 if I on the second ticket.
Yeah. You know, I just too many things. You know, 16% GSR going up, and it's the top GSR. It's a hard one to pass, and this bug could get his first win. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, this is a drop in class, but look, that race on 315 was against a 46 group. The horse was 26% and didn't win, and look, this horse was only 8 lengths back against a 46 group. So. And now adds blinkers. I mean, if this horse clears early, watch out, because these horses that get in the lead early, they often win in these types of races.
Right.
You know, and then at the end of the day, a horse that's going to be your favorite and probably the horse to beat by far is going to be this horse. I mean, its GSRs it's just too poor to believe. 37 on the tabs. I mean, horses got good heart and tries, but the ability is just not there. You know what? I'm going to go with the higher GSR. I'm just going to go with the 7. I'm going to go with the 7.
You're going to go with 7. Okay, so
yeah,
7.
I think the 2 is a very interesting horse. Like you, if this 2 clears, David took the 3-2. Yeah, you know, I can understand that. I can understand, but I understand honestly, I understand even taking the 8, honestly, or the 1 for that matter. But all right, we spent too much time on this race, but it is a tough race. I think it's worth. Don't be afraid to take some chances. It depends on your strategy. If if you have some other long shots, you might want to just take the 1. That the likely winner of this race is going to be the 1. Yeah, Mike, you on the 1? All right, let's go to the 4. So I'm gonna go with the 7, hoping that the 8 doesn't press on the outside.
Okay.
Okay, let's go here. Mike, you're on the 3 as well. Okay.
Mike's on. It's the Kinsman Redeemer.
Yep. And so is Dave.
Okay.
3-2. 3-2.
That's okay, Mike. I can't type any day. So,
okay. So you're taking the same 2 horses as Dave is. All right. Well, you got 2 solid tournament players that
yeah. And
both say 3-2.
That's one thing I also wanted to point out that you had mentioned before. Seeing these names, it's really fun for me when I'm in these online tournaments, Horseplayer or horse tournaments, and I see familiar names that are doing well. It makes me happy.
Yeah, me too.
We have a lot of good horse players out there. And hey, again, once you get to all you have to do is get to the NHC. And no matter what you say,
right.
If you get there, you have a chance to win. So,
right.
Yeah, you can't be intimidated by names like, oh, there's so many seasoned players. To me, that comes out more in live money tournaments because you have to have that. The more experienced you are at live money, is because there's so many decisions you have to make. But you're on equal footing now to win 2 places. So you can't have, deep pockets beat you, right? So
yeah, it's really neat to see. The other day, and I'm seeing Dave up there all the time as well. But Mike was at the top. I think he was in the lead. I think he maybe Mike, you can correct me, but I think you dropped down late, and I was right there too. I couldn't get by, and I petered out late, I think, and but I forget how Mike did, but it's really neat to see Mike and Dave there. Like it's just really neat to see. And what people have to remember too is that I think because when you won a couple of years ago, David, there was like maybe the year before you won in 2022 and 2021, we had about 10 people that were using EquinEdge that were tournament players at the NHC. And then the year you won, we had about 150 people using EquinEdge. Excellent. And then last year was well over 250.
Right.
It was crazy. It was so neat, right?
Yeah.
So neat to see that, people are understanding that the tools, and they're just tools.
Right.
Right. We all still have to make decisions, but they're really accurate and good tools. So it's really neat to see.
And where EquinEdge helps me the most is races that I struggle on, right? Because at the NHC, you're going to have to play a ton of races, and some races you may not want to play, but you've got to make picks. So if you come up to a race and you're like, I can't figure this out, I'm not spending 45 minutes on this one race with 12 horses. It's a mandatory. I'm just going to go. The EquinEdge will be more than a tool. It'll be the one that I'll use, right? When I'm confused with a race. But as a matter of fact, Mike, I can relate to you. I do, especially after a rough day. If I'm having a rough day, I just root for people I know, and just to think that you can't get down when you have a bad day. On Thursday of last week, 4th of July, I saw a 125 special qualifier, and you know where I finished in that? I zeroed out for the day.
Whoa.
So I went 0 for 12. I was 0. So in the past, I would say that's it. I'm not playing for a while. I got to get back in gear. Well, then I started looking at Friday, and I'm like, I think there's some horses I like here. So I'm going to give it a shot. $75, one ticket. And then I was a little bit like, should I play? Should I not play? And there you go. So I ended up finishing 3rd, and that was in 1st for a while. And I'm like, just trying to hold on and like, once you have a pick and pray. So, so don't let a bad day get you down because you can bounce right back.
Yeah, like Chris is saying, it's always nice to root for people in the community. It really is neat. I can't tell you how proud it makes me to have an idea years ago and then to be sitting here and just having such talented and good people using EquinEdge, a platform that I dreamed about for years. I don't know if I ever told you this, David, but when we first created this, there was a lot of talk that we were just going to keep this and just use it for ourselves for handicapping and playing, and that we were going to work more towards the CAW side of it. And but I just wanted to share it. In fact, we lost one of our key members because he did not like that decision that I made. I really wanted to share this, and I thought we could help change the game. I really did. Now, that decision has been a painful one because it is a long journey. You don't just come into this industry, create something, and think that you're just going to dominate. It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's very difficult. It's especially when you're first to a market on something like changing from statistics to metrics. and that's an adjustment. Let me tell you something. It took me a year and a half to get off the form, to stop using the form. Even when I had my own product, it took me a year and a half. It's just such an adjustment when you're used to statistics.
Mm-hmm. I'm almost there.
Thanks, Jen. Yeah, it takes time.
I'm starting to wean myself off slowly.
Yeah. No, it takes time. And then you start looking at your site. Oh man, and slowly but surely. And one of the goals that I have too is whatever we're missing or whatever we need to add so people. My simple-minded goal, honestly, was the longer people can stay on the site, that means that we've added the right tools and things that have achieved the ability for people to go, I don't need to go anywhere else anymore. That's really what we're trying to do. Yeah, bourbon and coaching class. That Friday class that Chris created is amazing. You have the class tonight, Chris? Yeah. I mean, you did a really good job on that. I got to admit, that thing is full constantly. And they have a really good, and it's kind of like, it's really neat too, because you get people like Dave was on my class on yesterday, and that was really neat. And contributing and sharing to the class. It's just so neat. And Mike, and it's really cool. Really, really neat. Anyways, I'm rambling now, but okay, let's finish up this last race here. We've got, I wouldn't mind showing the Gulfstream Park race number 1, even though it's not part of this thing, but we've got Saratoga starting in 21 minutes. But why don't you start us off, David, in this race and tell us what you got?
Yeah, Scotty, I didn't spend a lot of time on this race at all, because I'm just looking, and I know I'm not a chalk eater, but I have that reputation. But, some of these smaller fields, and again, I've mentioned this before, in the feeders, if there's a short field and you think you have a winner, especially, in cheap races, I'm not spending too much time on a race like this, because I think there's only a couple horses that I'm interested in. So I think the 4, I just circled the 4 in my notes based on the drop down, blinkers on, had to race over the synthetic at 5, didn't really lift a hoof, but the blinkers on, often trouble line, the bump start. So if this horse can get off well, I think this horse is going to win. I like to work it on June 15th. I'm not crazy about Mr. Rodium. 0 for 11. This horse has been close, running pretty well for this level, but just doesn't seem to get it. Doesn't have the winning profile for me. And the only other horse that I looked at is the 2, Hope You Dance. Same thing. This is, it comes from a turf race and a drop down from a maiden special to the Tapeta, and had a little early speed. This horse could show speed and scares me a bit, but I'll go with Safi Joseph on the 4 anytime. And Van Dyke stays with this horse. So obviously the bump was probably an issue. So yeah. I think this horse is live.
I'm not really a big fan of this 2 horse at all. It's the SOR was not a strong maiden special weight over it on the turf that day. The GSR actually drops. The win percentage doesn't go up much, and Aramillo does jump aboard. But yeah, and the horse should show some speed. But the 4 horse is going to break really good too, and going to sit a really nice trip. Like you said, with the 3 horse, it just doesn't have the winning profile. Zayas was aboard last time out. The horse was right there. I think that the 4 horse is interesting. It was only 1% to win that first time start, and that was with really good workouts. This is where I love maiden races with EquinEdge, because these are hard horses. These horses that are lightly raced or first time starters. How can a horse that worked out so good, look at these workouts, be only 1% to win? And look, it was a 48 SOR group. Today, it's a 42 group, so it goes down in class, facing easier. It was 1% today, it's 41%. And you can't, this is nothing you can see, but when you see it in metrics, it kind of tells the story. So the fact that the system is saying this horse is 41% to win, and then take the EquinEdge morning line and it says the horse is going to go off at 7-5. It's just, the simulator likes the horse as well. You have the 3 that's burning money. I don't like the 2 at all. Its GSR is super low.
And the four, Scotty, the four comes out of a 10-horse field, so now it's short of field. This horse just seems too logical for me too.
It does. It does. Safi, Van Dyke, and then you look at this horse. I mean, this wasn't a bad effort. Last time out, going the same surface and distance, same connections. When he jumps back aboard. I mean, that wasn't a bad effort. If you're looking for a price horse, the EquinEdge long shot, for whatever reason, if this horse doesn't run good, the 4, then maybe the 5 horse is an interesting horse. Did you look at it at all?
Yeah, I just thought I did look at this horse because it's a similar type of thing. This horse dropped down from a maiden special to maiden 35, then a maiden 25 on Tapeta. But I thought if you compare the race that Bevel ran in against ours for sure, I think the 4 was a much faster race. So and it was 55 and 4 for the 4 and 57 for the 5. But again, and that reflects the class drop with the 4, right? That maiden special weight was stronger than the maiden 25. So I think the 4 will fare better dropping down to that level than the 5 will.
Yeah, and I like the fact that the pace of the 4 is faster, and this is where you can't see this on paper, right? When you look on paper, you see, didn't show any speed, but then all of a sudden you look at the pace number today, and you see that with Jaramillo, they probably know it. This 2 is going to definitely go shooting to the lead, and Lasix jumps on for the first time. Jaramillo jumps aboard. This 2 is definitely going to show more, no question about it. Like, maybe this is your long shot, and we shouldn't be ignoring this horse possibly, huh?
The 2?
Yeah.
The one, I'm not really familiar with the trainer. I know you spent a lot of time on the Gulfstream.
I don't know this trainer as well. Yeah. No, I don't know this trainer as well, but
really
on.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that this horse is a Destin, right? So I'm looking at even a dam side. It's not a lot of turf breeding, so it's interesting that they opted to go in a 6-horse turf race.
Did you know you could click on it? Did you know you could click on the sire and the dams, and they pull up, and you can see their past performances?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at the dam,
and I do that all the time.
The dam was fast.
The dam was fast, but Destin's more of a dirt horse. I don't think Destin. Let me just click on here. Destin never won on turf, as I remember. Destin hadn't run on turf, right? And let me check on the dam. So the dam was a turf horse? No. Yeah, you got to show me a little dirt. That's.
Hey Eric, no, that we didn't do the free square show this week because I've been so busy moving. I haven't had a chance. So we're probably going to pick that back up next week on Thursday. But Destin. Destin was a good horse. Earned $950,000. The dam.
That's one of Belmont Stakes.
Looked fast. Here's the big beast. Ours for sure. Let's look at the dams. The dam only had 1 race. So big shout out to Brad as well too, with getting this feature released as well.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, appreciate that, Brad. That looks really good. Man, tough one. The 4 is going to go off as the big favorite, but those workouts are too good in the morning. I doubt there's any. This horse can't run. I think he was probably had to try putting this horse in the maiden special weight, but yeah, I'm with you. I think.
I think Scotty. In my opinion, I think the 3 is going to go off as favorite. So you're not going to get. It's going to be close. I think you're not going to get a bad price on. I think you'll get at least 9-5, 2-1 on the 4.
Okay, so you and I are on the same horses almost.
Wow, we're either. I don't know if I'm dragging you down or.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely the one dragging you down. Yeah,
hopefully it'll be a successful bandwagon this week.
It will be. Yeah, I have no doubt.
And nothing just pisses me off, to be honest with you, when you have a 6-horse field and we're pretty sold on the same horse, and you got a first-time starter at 25-1 just romp. I'm like, how the hell did I? But that's horse racing, right? So you got to take those beats and just. Hey, Justin, how's it going, my friend?
What's up, Justin? What's up, brother? Okay, you're going to be a grandma again. Congratulations, Catherine. Gulfstream Park race number 1. I know it's not in the tournament, but I thought, why not?
Sure.
Let's see what happens here. You got 5. Let's see if speed holds in here. If speed holds in here, then this horse to watch horse, the 4 horse, is going to win then, right? So let's.
There's a caveat now.
What is it?
Its track condition is. Oh, hold on a second. Sloppy?
What's up, Justin? My man.
Did I see a sloppy track somewhere at Gulfstream on the main?
4.
Yep.
Well, this is on the Tapeta.
It's on a Tapeta, correct.
Yeah,
okay.
You don't have to worry about that. All right, 6-5 on this 4 horse. Let's see if speed holds. That's an indicator. I think the 4 broke slow, David.
Oh, you don't have it up.
Oh, so sorry.
Recovering after the bad start is igniting the flame. Then it's Sweet Run and Stewbold. They have the new beginning to catch. The new beginning, and Edwin Gonzalez all in at the top of the stretch with a 4-length head start on the others. Moving through traffic and up into second is Sweet Run.
It was raining too.
Rancho Vista,
Big
Bahamas at the rail. Far outside is Cajun Prime at the rail at Stewbold.
Monmouth Park's off turf.
New beginning. Wheels for home on a big lead. It's a 5-length margin. They line up behind.
You see the way the 4 runs with his head up?
Like
this horse is getting tired.
Edwin Gonzalez
And it didn't.
And trying to get home. Late run from Sweet Run down the middle, but it's
3's going to hold on and had an easy lead, but the 5 and the 1 showed that you couldn't close. So that's interesting.
Right, and the one thing that's important, Scotty, I think we point out here is I didn't realize there was weather issues down in South Florida, but anytime I've seen a Tapeta track down there when they take the races off the turf this past winter and we get a sloppy track that indicates there's been a lot of moisture, every time I've been at Gulfstream or watching races on simulcast, it's like on the Tapeta, you can't catch speed most of the time. So you just saw that the 3 was getting tired, but I think the track helped this horse get home. So as we're going forward now, I'm going to focus on Tapeta just being totally speed.
So look, if you look
would you agree with me, Scotty, on that premise?
Yeah. Yep. Look at the 3 horse was the EquinEdge second pick. It's the first time starter.
Mm-hmm.
And look.
Your breeding system, Flame Away. Oh yeah, got a nice price.
All right, so now we got Saratoga coming up. Why don't we?
Now we can't show Saratoga, obviously.
Oh, we can't show Saratoga, unfortunately.
I'll get that up on my feed here.
I find that the 2 horse only being 3-2 right now is dead on the board. You?
I'm sorry, which horse, Scotty?
This in race number 1 at Saratoga.
What number? The 2?
The 2, Chanteuse, the favorite.
Yeah. I mean, what? I'm just pulling it up on my screen. I apologize.
It's 3-2.
Yeah, but there's plenty of time left, right? We've got what, 9 minutes, 7 minutes. You know how these wagers go here with the PW's play. Yeah, you would think. I'm thinking 3 to 5, 4 to 5 at post time, especially with Pratt on. So we've got 7 to 2, 7 to 2. Wow. So we've got 3 other horses at 7 to 2, and that Reliable Lady just clicked up to 4 to 1. 7 to 5 on chance 2. Yeah, it's
I'm
not.
looking forward to seeing the horse I'm looking forward most to seeing run in this race is the one, Lord I Wonder. I know it's a low win percentage, and it draws the rail, but I mean, this horse has some nice workouts for Bruno. So, and Irad jumps aboard.
And we talked about the speed. You want to be close to the pace, especially at 7. I mean, it's not. Again, I think the 2 could be long gone, but let's see how the 1 could give the 2 a fight here, and I think that's what could happen. Yeah, I think that the 2 will. I'm anticipating the 2 going down less than even money, but we'll see how that goes.
I know. I'm surprised it's not already there, but all right. Let's look at Monmouth Park real quick, because there's 3 races in the qualifier. Race 5, 6, and 7. So I think it's important to look at, considering that the races are off the turf.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, so I'll have to. We'll go through those. So any turf race at Monmouth that's in the qualifier, I'll have to go through it from square one.
So races are off the turf, but we're not showing it off the turf. Interesting.
Let me see what we got here. No, I've got Monmouth on turf first race. No, Monmouth goes off at 2 o'clock. The first race. So they're off the turf today at Monmouth. Okay. They haven't reflected it in my ADW either.
They are off the turf today at Monmouth.
Okay, that's confirmed. Okay, thank you, sir. All right, so were we going to the fifth race at Monmouth? Or how do you want to? We're done with the feeders, correct?
We are done with the feeders. Yeah, the first one's coming up in 5 minutes, so we'll go to Saratoga. Says I'm checking with Brad right now.
Dave said Matt Dinnerman reported it early this morning. Thanks, thanks, Dave.
We might. Maybe we didn't get that information yet from Equibase. I don't know. We'll see. But I just checked with Brad. Obviously, if it is, we don't want to handicap it the way it is. So so let's go to Saratoga 5, which is the first leg. How's that sound?
Okay. Is that Saratoga 5 or Saratoga 6?
Saratoga 5.
Don't tell me I handicapped the wrong race, but even from yeah, I'm sorry. I have the 5th.
Okay.
Bear with me. I just had a senior moment for a second. It's not unusual.
That's okay. There are 4 scratches: 1, 2, 10, and 12.
All right. 1, 2. I did notice that, but I didn't mark them onto my notes here. 1, 2, 10, and 12.
And we're Chateau, the 6th horse, looks like it's going to have the lead.
Yeah, so we've got here 20,000 claimer going 6 furlongs on the dirt. And again, everybody who listens or your regular listeners know I'm a NYRA guy. That's my circuit. And these are races that I salivate over because I feel like I've seen these horses run so many times. And the value of that is just, it's really a great value to my handicapping, watching all these races, and then see a race like this come up at the NHC, and I'm like, I don't even have to handicap. I know how these horses usually run. I watch so many replays at NYRA. So, but with that being said, I still struggled a little bit with this race. But I think I can get a price out of it.
Okay, who's the price? Okay,
the one thing I noticed, and I know the 12 is scratch, so that changes the dynamics a bit, I think. Once I went through the race, knowing that Chateau's in there, and Jake Rocks had more speed in his younger days. Disco Diana's got speed. Originally, Motorcade, who was in the race, had speed. Safa's Day is going to be close to the pace. That's the way that horse runs. So I was looking for a closer. But now with the scratch of that 10, that may change a little bit. But I'll get to the chase here pretty quickly. Is that the horse that I'm trying to get home here, and the price won't be as good as the morning line. I'm looking for a closer, but not somebody who has to come from so far off the pace. I don't want a dead stone closer on this track until I see that happen, besides one yesterday. And I'm going to go with Funny Joke, the 5. Two things I like about this horse. This horse was off a long layoff and was there on June 9th for the Belmont Racing Festival. That was a sloppy track. It had rain that morning, a ton of rain. The thing that I like about this horse is that off a long layoff on a sloppy track, Pratt picked up the mount, and this horse showed more speed than this horse has ever shown, in my opinion. And so to me, that signals that the horse may be getting back into form. Anytime a closer or somebody who lays close to the pace but doesn't really have a lot of speed off a layoff, has a decent workout and comes back to show speed, I'm going to go. That intrigues me. And the 8-1 morning line intrigued me. Pratt, he's looking to challenge for the leading rider, I believe. So I was really, looking for this horse as a key play of mine on the day. The one, now that was a really fast pace. They went 21-1, 43-3. Obviously, any horse that goes that fast is going to be gone. And this horse just tired late. So I feel this horse is getting into form, maybe, and it drops down off the 32 to a level that it can win. And there's nothing wrong with Falcone's Barn. So I'm going with the 5. And I think now with the scratch, if I was having a second ticket, I think you got to use the 6 Chateau because of the speed. This horse will be on the lead for a long time. Irad picks up the mount, but because I'm trying to avoid Irad in some of these contests, because there's no value, that I'm going to use the 5 over the 6. I tried to make a case, Scotty, for this 8 horse, Cold as Hell. This horse is beat. This horse could challenge, and if Chateau got out of the gate badly, this horse could be dangerous. Now he's only 3 for 38, but geez, I've seen Lucas at these Saratoga meets win on horses that you're like, how the heck? The thing is a huge drop down. So is he trying to win, trying to get rid of the horse? So that horse scares me a little bit. So if you said you were going to use Cold as Hell, the 8, I'd say, yeah, go for it. I think that's a pretty solid play.
Yeah.
But for me, it's
the problem for me with the 8 is that, and I was really surprised to see it at 16%, but this horse has just burned too much money for my liking. And it looks like this horse really needs the lead for its best, and it's not getting the lead. There's too fast of horses. So I'm going away from that. The 11 also seems to need the lead. This horse is not the worst looking horse in the world, but again, it's going to be running up against the 6 horse Chateau, who definitely needs the lead and is going to have the lead and is the fastest horse. So if I'm taking speed, it's not going to be the 8 or the 11. If I'm running through these, the 3 horse doesn't look classy enough for these. So I probably pass on the 3. The 9 horse is just too classy, right? I mean, clearly, here's the thing. When I look at the 9, I mean, this horse was claimed for $80,000 two back, obviously against much better. And then it comes back last time out and just loses by 19 lengths. But that was against a 74 group. Today's a 62 group. Like, I don't know what's going on with this horse, why this horse is claimed for 80,000, 2 races back and now in for 20. The fact that Tyler's aboard, this horse likes to win, 8 wins in 29 tries. I think Safa's Day has got to be really tough to beat, right? I mean, like, I don't think Tyler.
Yeah, I don't want any part of Safa's Day. I had this horse a couple back when I personally, the reason to me that I'm guessing the reason for the drop down, this was a bad claim. I wouldn't claim from Jacobson, and that's all I'll say. I'm not going to elaborate on that. But they're going off at Saratoga, Scotty. First race is just kind of.
Okay. Let's.
Chanteuse, by the way, went down.
Huh?
Chanteuse is 1-2 morning.
You want
line. Host.
Go ahead and turn it up.
Hold on a second. Can you hear that?
Yeah, barely. Let me turn mine up.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Unreliable lady who's right next to Martingale into the far turn. Lord, I wonder, 4 off the pace in 4th. It's another couple back to Ascension who races on the outside.
The 3's stalking. 3's running a good race along the rail.
Continues to show the way, getting a little bit of heat from Martingale on the outside with reliable.
Here comes yours, horse.
Between 45 and 4 for the half.
She's not holding on.
Lord, I wonder, we'll try to
The 3's going to win.
Wide bid as the field turns for home. Chanteuse, reliable lady, a half length.
Come on, go get her.
Lord, I wonder, picking up some momentum on the outside of Martingale. They're in the final furlong, and reliable lady goes right by the favorite Chanteuse. And Lord, I wonder, is in the center of the racetrack. Reliable lady with a 3-length lead close to home, and it's reliable.
There you go.
Hey, Scotty, 6-1. I will take all day long.
All day long. Good call.
Oh, then that's what happened. You got that an influx of wagering on the 2, which made the 3 overlay on the board, in my opinion. This horse shouldn't have been any more than 3-1, 7-2, 4-1.
No,
for sure.
We talked about that, though.
Yeah.
We talked about that. We talked about that horse being bet late and then those other prices going up, and that's exactly what happened there. Wow. Nice.
And you're right. The two did completely stop again.
Yep. Yeah, no, it was something was wrong with that horse.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Something was wrong with that horse. That horse is not right. Wow. That's
maybe
huge.
The horse is just not that good, Scotty.
No, I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, the workout reports are good, but no, the horse stopped for no reason last time out. I mean, that's just the bottom line. This horse maybe Todd will try this horse on 6 furlongs on the 5.5 or 6 on the turf course. No, there's something more going on with this horse. That's not.
You think so?
I mean, look at the GSRs of this horse. I mean, on dirt. I mean, they're amazing. Look, I mean, look at it's got numbers in the 90s. This is something physical that's wrong with the horse.
Right.
For sure.
Could be, but and again, so when we look at, I think we handle this race as a contest race perfectly. Now again, 2020 hindsight, right? But still, for contest
we handicapped it perfectly.
You don't want any part of that 6-5 shot when it is question marks. Okay,
when there's question marks.
I'll take 1-2 on. I'll take 1-2 any day of the week on Flightline. I'll take 1-2 on Seattle Slew, Alidar, Affirm, but not on a horse that packed it in first time. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. That's exactly right. We got 8 minutes before this Gulfstream Park race number 2, so we'll get out to that. But right now, let's get back to race number 5, and this, You're looking at a horse in the 9 that's most likely going to go off as a big favorite, and it is dropping big time in class. Now, what's interesting is back on January 7th, you see this. It was a $25,000 starter allowance that has the same SOR, and the horse got a 2nd place finish. But then something happened here where the horse ran the 62.5 optional claiming, 80,000 optional claiming, and won those 2 races. And maybe looked like a different horse. And then next thing you know, Tom Amoss claims this horse for 80,000. Now the horse is in for 20. So do you go away from that horse? You clearly don't like this horse, huh?
Well, I'll look into it a little further, but I know this horse quite well because I've been on this horse before. As a matter of fact, on April 5th, we were doing the show, and I believe there was a late scratch, maybe an early scratch of one of the other speeds. And I was shocked that Safa's Day at the time was like 6 or 8-1. And I'm like, hold on a second. Safa's Day looks like the speed of the race now. And this horse is going to be tough to catch because this horse gets brave on the lead. I've seen it before. This horse has won 8 races. So this horse scored at 10-1. So anytime I see a horse that I picked and I won money on and went off at 10-1, I'm always following to where this horse is going next. And then I was kind of surprised when I popped up Keeneland, and on that April 21st, and I'm like, oh, geez, this horse is, Jacobson sent this horse down to Keeneland. And I looked at the race, I recall, and I'm like, I don't think this horse fits in this race whatsoever. There's a lot of speed. Well, this is the first time on April 21st that I ever could remember this horse closing. This horse always needed to be on the lead. I've never seen this horse close and win. Close maybe and just not be effective. But if this horse didn't get the lead, it was questionable. So then Amos claims this horse off that race. Looks like a good claim, right? The horse is in great form, but comes back and shows some speed and just died. Now that was a much tougher race. They ran that race in 1:21.2. So an extra Anejo. That horse is probably going to be a stakes sprinter this year, in my opinion, if he stays healthy. So I never like to see a claim off Jacobson. Jacobson's his barn is like can be either hot, they can be real spotty. I don't know. He just came off a suspension, Jacobson, which is it's a multiple suspension over his career, and so I don't know what's going on with the Jacobson barn. I don't care to know. I just am reluctant anytime anybody claims off of him. So Tom Amos, good luck. But again, this horse Safford's Day's got a great workout July 2nd. So maybe I'm wrong, but I don't want any part of Safford's Day at morning line 5-2.
Well, I think we're going to go with your opinion on this. All right. So who do you like?
Okay, I had mentioned before I like the 5 because the funny joke showed more speed than this horse has ever shown. It was sloppy track. Now, did the slop move this horse up, and this horse maybe a mudlark? But it probably not, because 0 for 4 on wet ground. So I'm just thinking, when I see a horse that shows early speed for the first time or for a long time in his career, that this horse is sitting and improving and getting to a point where it can win at this level. Now it drops down from 32 to 20, and there'll be enough speed up front. I'm a little concerned that Chateau could go wire to wire, but I'll go with the 5 for the better price.
I have a good feeling about what you today. I have a feeling that you're seeing things really clearly. I think one of my only concerns with this horse is it's trying to find its level, but it did only beat a non-winners of 3 level, right? And now it's going to be facing older horses that are have multiple wins. So I think that would be my only concern. But
we mentioned the Lucas horse. Lucas horse scares me a bit.
Yeah,
I've seen Wayne win at Saratoga and on horses that you're like, what? And he likes to win at Saratoga. Most trainers do. I hope his horse runs well. But it wouldn't surprise me. This horse runs very well today. They drop him down to the bottom. Maybe just trying to pick up a win. Yeah, if you told me you're using Cold as Hell in the contest, I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah. What about the 6-horse Chateau, who's going to clearly have the lead? Can this horse hold on? I mean, it hasn't been able to, but it does get Ortiz. I so badly want to like this horse, but I just really don't. Why?
Yeah, Chateau. I mean, I think I've watched this horse's run like 60 times. So I know Chateau. You don't have to know much about this horse. You just know that this horse only wins wire to wire. And this horse has won some past races where you're like, wow, he just, aired today. And I've seen him run like 100 buyers back when he was a 4 or 5-year-old. And I'm like, where'd that come from? And then some other races, you'll have the same level. Next race, he comes back, he's got a lead and just tires and finishes 5th. But that's pretty typical. But he's at the right level. I mean, he's won a race at Saratoga, and I like horses. So any horse has won a race at Saratoga in the past, I will always give a second look to, even though if their recent form is off, because to me, it's horses for courses. Chateau has won at Saratoga, he's won at Belmont, he's won it. So I don't think it's a big factor. But yeah, this horse could be long gone. And Irad, you'll never get 5-1 on Irad on the Speedball. So I'm going for the better price.
Well, I think there's a lot of speed on the 11, the 6, the 8. The 3 horse doesn't really look like it's good enough, and it's usually near the lead as well. So if you eliminate those horses and you eliminate the 9, then it's leaving you with the 1A, 4, 5, and 7. The 5 looks best of those horses for sure. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this horse that has a ton of layoff lines, but Johnny Velasquez jumps aboard for Walder. What do you think of this horse, this 4?
Yeah, I think this horse, Scotty's got a shot. Like you mentioned, the lack of racing and the breaks and the layoffs constant are concerning to me. But this horse has won 9 races, but never won at Saratoga. I want to see. I know Walder shipped up horses last year at the Saratoga meet. I didn't think he had a ton of success. I think he had a couple of winners, but you got to show me that this horse, again, based on that last race, this horse is eligible to be a competitor here. But I don't know. I just don't see this horse. I didn't want to see a race over the track with this horse before I play it.
I got to tell you, I can't believe this, but because we almost never agree, but I like the 5 as well.
Okay, I don't know if that's a good
I don't either.
The trend is either we're both seeing the ball real clear today, or
One of the two.
Right. So far, 1 for 1 on my end, so I'll take one.
Okay, let's. I don't know. I haven't heard from Brad back yet. If the race is, I think they're official off the turf, but let's just see if we're showing it off the turf. Hold on here. So Saratoga, no, we got a Monmouth Park race number 5. Yep, off the turf. Okay,
Off the turf. Okay,
we're off the turf. I just noticed that too, Cindy. It was really weird. No GSRs. I've never seen that before. I don't know why that is, Cindy. Yeah, I just saw that as well. I'm going to take a picture of that real quickly and send that to Brad. Never seen that before. Let's see here. All right, let me just send this to Brad real quickly, guys. Bear with me.
and then I get a comment that's gonna.
Okay. Thank you, Cindy. Okay, so Monmouth Park race number 5.
So before we go to that, Scotty, I'm going to tell you just a quick funny story of my. I don't know. Maybe I'm not on the wrong bandwagon today. I had a senior moment. I made a mistake. I thought I entered the quick early bird for the BCBC today.
Yeah.
And then I obviously had a $21 winner. Then I pulled it up and I'm like, what is going on? How is it possible that so many people had this 3-horse? Then I realized I'm in the NHC quick early bird with 154 entries. So, hey, whatever works.
Yeah.
I was looking for the BCBC one, but I don't know how I did that. Okay.
All right. Actually, we're going to go to Gulfstream Park to race number 2. That's the second leg of the feeder. You have the 6-horse, Zio Lorenzo. You're getting even money right now. I'm not hating on even money, honestly. I think the horse is going to go gate to wire. You think that same thing. I think the horse is gone. I think the 1 and 5, if they just break slow, that's what it looks like to me.
Right. And the one good thing, I do acknowledge that I picked a pretty good amount of chalky horses in the feeders, but we got a $21 win place price on the first. So that doesn't bother me because I got my price horse already. So if any, I just need some of these favorites to hit the first or second, and it should be in a good spot.
All right. Good luck in here.
Good luck, everybody.
Let's get the 6 home for you, David. 4-horse at 10-1, balking at the gate right now. Has a decent win percentage, actually, but you don't like to see those antics at all. Even money right now. The 5-horse, we're not surprised, is 2-1. That one is run decent, but it always seems to back up late. It looks just okay to me. I like what I'm seeing with the 6-horse. And I think hopefully the 1 and 5 do their normal, break slow, and then the 6 has a 2 or 3 length lead early. 6 looks very well, makes a nice appearance. This is one that likes to run with its head up a little bit, and so we need this horse to get the lead early.
Of the beast, Joe Trejos to complete the line. There in the gate. And
got a flyer out of the gate.
More start from Mega Glorious at the back. Good start in the middle for the favorite Zio Lorenzo, who heads off.
Actually, that was the 7 that got the flyer out of the gate.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Stan is kicked
And
on to
the
take
5 broke good.
5 broke good, the first time starter.
No, that's not the first time starter.
Oh, the 5. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong race. Lieutenant Stan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
The
one
one
that
for
normally
16.
breaks slow.
The 1 for 16, who's going to be 1 for 17.
Aerocraft gets started on the outside. He rallies into third. Wine Empire's in the red colors, 4th at the rail, 3 back to Mega Glorious as they reach the top of the stretch. They whistle a quarter, 21 and 3, and they turn in. It's still Lieutenant Stan. Zio Lorenzo comes to call on the outside. 3 back to Barrelcraft, then Wine Empire. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go. Gonzalez and Lieutenant Stan still the target. Zayas
Get up, 6.
with the favorite Zio Lorenzo.
Get up, 6. There you go.
Lieutenant Stan
There you go.
late by Zio Lorenzo. Zio
Nice.
Lorenzo.
6-5-4. All right.
And-
Well,
Right, so
we did it the hard way.
But the more important thing is that we'd like to point out here is this horse is 1 for 16. And I think we mentioned that he runs pretty decently. It just doesn't get the job done. Doesn't have the winning profile, and that showed you right there. I'll take a 1 for 7 coming down the stretch against a 1 for 16 any day of the week with track bias not in that factor.
And by the way, for some of you that don't look at these types of things, you probably should. But if you look at probables and you click on it, you can see the 6-5 exacta was $4. The next closest was the 6-7 at $14. So pretty amazing. That's really so. I mean, that just goes to show you that to connections that this was just a 6-5 race, and there was nobody else even close.
Right.
So.
Like I said, sometimes when you look at a race and it seems such an obvious favorite, and again, I'm always looking for value, but this is just a feeder, and the early races normally they're shorter field, so it makes sense you're going to have lower prices. Now, in the I had put some numbers together in the NHC contest that I won last Friday, that I finished 3rd last Friday, and Dave Duncan finished 4th. We had my average. I had 4 winners in 1 place, and the average win price was like 19. The average win price was $19. I calculated it out, so it just shows you. I mean, with 4 winners, you've got to average close to $20 normally, because that was $112. So you've got to get to that point over 100, 110, 115 normally. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So that's the number you're looking. Now, that's not steadfast, because you could have a very chalky day sometimes. There's only 10 races with the qualifier, but usually you got to look for those numbers around 100 for the total.
Well, we have a horse here in the 8. It's Good to Be Jose. And this one is got a big pace advantage. 90. Next closest is the 1 horse with a 62. But here they come. And I think this is a good teaching moment here, David. When you look at like the 6-horse Cisternelle, it is dropping. Whenever you see the arrow, it's 10 points or more, and this one's down, which is a negative, from a 61 GSR to a 47, going from 18% to 8%, and actually going up. But yet it's the EquinEdge top pick. For me, I can't get down with a horse like that. I just can't. Now, if the win percentage was higher, then maybe I could ignore it, but I just can't. So I'm trying to beat this horse that will probably be your favorite, and it could be maybe this. It's Good to Be Jose, who's 8-5 on the EquinEdge morning line, and the second pick. What are your thoughts in this race? Yeah,
I'm kind of bummed out that they took this. Well, there's a sloppy track because they scratched a horse who I was going to key on today, and that's the 4 wish list. So we won't talk about that horse. We'll just move on. I thought Wish List on the turf was going to be just impossible to beat. So now we're looking at what is the distance of this race? Is it the same? Is a mile? And, it stays at a mile and 16. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't see. I don't see a lot in here that I could rely on. Most of the horses here are better turf horses, obviously. And I hate to come back to a horse who's going to be the overwhelming favorite, but sometimes with these off the turf races, you just got to take the price and move on. I guess I couldn't play any other horse besides the 8 here.
Really? I'm on the 9. I'm going to tell you that the 9's going to run a good race. Second off the layoff, Camacho jumps aboard, and this horse, it needed that last race. It'd been off a while, and now it's going from 12% win to 25% from a GSR of 55 to 58. It broke 9th last time out, and look at in the second call it was only 2.5 lengths back. Even in the stretch, 6.5 lengths back, and they just let off. That's it. This horse is going to run a much, much better race here. I have no doubt. Right.
No, I agree that this horse is definitely usable. But, I mean, this horse was racing for a 12.5 claimer, broke his maiden for 12.25. This is on turf and synthetic. I see one dirt race that this horse was pretty honest. It looks like the first start, right? April 27th. This horse was bet a little bit, a little less than 9-1. Showed a little speed, so maybe this horse can run on the dirt. But I just have a bias, to be honest with you, Scotty, for Constitutions off on sloppy tracks. I was a big fan of Constitution, and I had pretty good scores with that horse. I believe the Constitution won the Florida Derby. It was 2015, 2016, and that was a very good
one.
What's that?
I said I'll take your word on that.
Okay. I still have some sort of my memory left, but yeah, I'm going to be partial. I think the stretching out on the dirt first time. I mean, Constitution should handle a sloppy track, so I don't want any part of any other horse. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I'm just going to use the 8 here. It's good.
Well, I will say this: there is a negative on the 8, and that is the jockey trainer combination of Demasi and Rendon is 0 for 22. So
the only comment I'm going to have there, Scotty, is after this race, I'm pretty confident they're going to be 1 for 23.
Okay, all right.
Now, some people. Yeah,
I was going to say, let me tell you a story. So, about 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, something like that, I was doing the show, and there was a jockey trainer combination. Or no, I'm sorry, the trainer was 0 for 36 with first time starters, but yet the horse was like 35% to win. And I said, and it was the top EquinEdge pick. And I said, I don't care what those picks say. I don't care what the win percentages say. I am not playing a trainer with first-time starter that's 0 for 36, and the horse won by 7 lengths.
Right.
This horse is 8-5 on the EquinEdge morning line. EquinEdge is second pick and 32% to win, and the top pace number and the top GSR.
Right, and exactly. And when we're looking on a long-term basis, it's really difficult to be concentrating or betting horses that are 0 for 36, anything, either the stable, the jock, the trainer, any angle, because long-term, you're not going to have success like that. Your ROI is not going to be there, in my opinion. And the bottom line is that there's always an aberration once here or there. It's horse racing. It's a game of chance. There's favorites could get left in the gate. Jock could fall off. God forbid something happens to a horse. So you're not going to really have much success. Obviously, if you're in an NHC and you're coming down near the cut line and it's like 3 races left, you're like, I don't care. I got to play a 40-1 shot. But, that's every situation is different. But long-term success, Scotty's right. And I'm reluctant to play anything that I see 0 for 35, 0 for 36, any statistic. So. But it's good to be Jose. That's all I care. I'm just on that horse.
All right, so you're going with it's good to be Jose. All right, sounds good.
I'll take the $4.40. So we do have how many minutes to Saratoga?
Rendon gets off of the. It looks like it's off the 9 horse. We should look at some of these others just to be safe. So when you look at the 7, right, just to be safe, the 7 horse has not had any really all that. This horse just doesn't look that great, to be honest with you. But it is 22% to win. That just goes to show you how bad this field is. I mean, Sister Nell is. We talked about this one. Wow.
Yeah, the rain and the move to the dirt just totally decimated this race.
Yeah, it did. I mean, there's just nothing in here.
No.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm with you. I think there's just no. I gotta go.
It's either 8 or 9, right?
I gotta go with the 8. Let's look at the workouts just to be safe. Let's see here. I mean, on dirt, the horse is training just fine on dirt. 3 of 71 here. So I don't mind that at all. The horse couldn't clear here. It was 42%, but clearly this horse needs the lead. And it couldn't clear. But when it does clear, it does pretty good. It's an easier group here. And speed's going to hold usually a lot more on the dirt, except for like sprint races. This horse is not fast enough. I'm guessing this horse was not fast enough. Now, don't forget the win percentages and the metrics don't look at pace. So even though this horse was 42% to win here, I'm not going to hold it against the horse because the horse could not clear. It's just not fast enough. Look, it didn't run good at 5 furlongs in the synthetic. It didn't run good at these short distances because it needs more distance and showing speed, and that's what it's going to get here. So you can expect this horse going to run a much, much better race here. I'm with you on the 8. I got to go with the 8.
Okay. Boy, we're setting a dangerous precedent here.
I don't know what that.
So now when we look at negative comments on Twitter or X, not to say it's for any of our listeners, they're like, Scotty and David both suck today.
Yeah,
Again,
that's true.
You never know. Like I said, last Thursday and 4th of July day, I was like, wow, it's embarrassing. 0. And there was another NHC champ, no name mentioned, I think, who also bottomed out with it. It's like, hey, and then you come back and you have a good day. So that's pretty typical of the horse players, right? But and I don't want to seem sometimes when I make a pick that I've seemed too cocky about or confident. I'm not. I mean, to me, I want a horse player with conviction. And when I'm focused, to me, that's the way I play. I don't hedge a horror unless there's like in a 6 or 7 horse field. I'm like, this horse is a lock. I'm moving on, and that's it. And sometimes you got to play like that.
So all right, both of us like the 8. Mike likes the 8 as well, and I didn't see. I don't know if Dave's there, but I didn't see. I'd be curious to see what Dave's pick is. All right, we're running this. By the way, we have 5 minutes before Saratoga. And in the first 2 races, Dave, in the feeder, you're 2 for 2, correct?
Yes. I just pulled up the leaderboard. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 of us tied at $28.10 on the leaderboard. Then it goes down to $23.90 for second, which a bunch of people are tied. And the top 30 get in.
So I've narrowed it down to 4 horses here. The 8 horse, Rhea Valentine, is a horse that, you might want to, at Gulfstream Park, you might want to watch Zayas all day long. That, sometimes, you know what I mean?
Noticed that.
Yeah. And Zayas is on the 8 horse here, who's, even though this is going from a 40,000 $2 lifetime to a 25,000 $2 lifetime, it looks like this race came up really tough. But the win percentage does go up. The GSR is the same, but it does have tougher competition. So we want to see who that is. So here's the 4 horse who's been facing better on the drop. All right, so I think it's something to strongly look at. The GSR goes up, the win percentage goes up, and the horse is facing much easier. This 4 horse is a major player here. And this horse is 12 to 1 in the odds makers morning line. And I often take advantage of the morning lines over at Gulfstream Park, and it's 5 to 1 on the EquinEdge morning line. How do you see this 4 horse? Do you feel like this horse is a player?
Yeah. the sloppy track here changes my perspective on this race. So I'm looking, when I see a race that I handicapped and for a dry dirt track, and then I see the change in the track condition, I go over it again and look for horses who've actually have some kind of success on wet tracks. And as I was going through this just now, I realized that I am just using one horse here. And that's the horse that I like, Scotty, is the number 3. Still in, right? You Light Up My Life.
You Light Up My Life.
Okay.
By the way, real quickly, sorry to cut you off, but Dave, we were curious what you liked at Monmouth Park, race number 5. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
What I like in Monmouth Park?
No, we were asking Dave. Yeah,
gotcha.
Who he liked over
All
at
these Daves are getting confused. It's getting confusing.
I know. Okay, so you're saying You Light Up My Life, and this horse has been off of a layoff for Bennett.
Right. I do like You Light Up My Life, but I'm no way going to start singing the song. My voice is just not good. But I am not. This horse is 1-for-1 over wet track. It was at Tampa on a good track at 1 mile and 40 yards. This is only 1 mile. But that's all I really need to see if I'm looking at a race that I don't really want to spend a ton of time on. So that's the horse I would favor here. And the 8, Rhino Valentine, shipping down from Aqueduct, have a bit of a layoff, trainer change. To me, there's too many questions about that horse to rely on as a pick here. So I didn't find a lot of other things here. Let me just take a quick look at that. The other horse that I may be interested in is the 1. Now, I'm not sure who's going to be the better price. And this horse has 1 in a mile, but it's had a 3rd on an off track. So if I had 2 entries, I'm going to use both that have some success on off tracks, the 3 and the 1.
Okay, let's go back to Saratoga for race number 2, which is the 3rd leg of the feeder. That's coming up here. They're almost at the gate. And David, you're on the 4 horse Giants Fire. I'm on the 7 horse Dillinger.
All right, so we have the 7 is currently 2-1, and
I thought the 7 was going to get a really nice trip. That's why I liked the 7. Go ahead.
My concern was when that 7 horse was with the drop down. I'm not sure, and again, it's going to take too much money with Irad on. So right now. And then 5 horse is 2-1, and I thought that horse would take. So yeah, I'll take 3rd choice with the 4 horse. So just hoping that this horse can get out of the gate better than the last time out.
Okay, so I'll play it for us. Okay, I'll turn it up.
Oh, you'll turn it up? Okay.
Yeah, I'll turn it up.
And I'll turn mine down.
Okay.
I'll mute it.
All right, let's see who looks good. The 3 horse makes a nice appearance. Looks very nice at 6-1. 7 looks okay. Nothing great, but nothing bad. Irad is there. I mean, this race could be wide open. The 7's a favorite at 2-1. Who was the value we were talking about? We were talking about you like the 3 a little bit. We thought the 1 and the 3. I thought the 1 and 3 would duel, and so I didn't like the 3 that much because the system, all the metrics don't look. The metrics don't look at the pace. And so for me, the pace does not fit the 3. Now, if for whatever reason, all of a sudden after 14 races, this horse can rate, and maybe it can. I will say this. Look at this. Maybe found something here. Look at 11:25 against a 44 group, though. It was only 3%. The horse was 5 lengths back at the half and then only lost by 1.5 lengths. I mean, maybe there's some signs that this horse can rate a little bit, possibly, which means then that means that if that happens and the jockey does that, then that means that the 1 horse gets a clear, easy lead, and that's the EquinEdge long shot. So, I mean, this is why we have the pace number, because the early pace is everything. And the old saying goes, David, right? Pace makes the race.
Right, and exactly at 21-1, I throw a bob on this one horse, only thinking if the 3 gets out of the gate slow, this one could be lone speed. At 21-1, that's the value of the race to me. But I didn't use it, and I'm not going to put a late wager in on it, but because I don't think that's going to happen. But hey, you're getting 21-1 off a 12-1 morning line. To me, that could be a possible NHC contest play if this was a.
All right, no matter what happens in the race, the horse that gets the best trip is the 7. And Irad broke good, but he kind of broke awkward. And 5 and 1 are dueling.
Yeah, the 1 got the lead. This horse could 23-1, and that is a total overlay.
I would say this: the 7 did not break out of the gate good. It was really awkward, kind of a break for the 7. The 3 horse is on the rail, running really nicely. Did not get anywhere near the lead. I don't know what happened to the break, but the jockey's on the brakes.
No,
the rail's not a good position. So 3's already checking back. You might want to follow that 3 next time back because you can get a price.
Now the 4's along the rail. This is going to be a tight race. It's going to be a good finish.
Nah, it's not going to be. I think the 4 is going to win this race.
Yeah, the 1's. Yeah, here comes.
No, the 4 just needs to get the room. That's it. 7's struggling on the outside. 4 is going to go in between horses and pull away. Come on, 4. Let's.
I don't know. I don't know if the 4's got anything. See what I tell you about this 1. Jesus.
1's done.
Yeah,
that's going to win the race.
I don't know if the 4 is going to get up. He's struggling too.
I get it for second, 4. He's not changing leads.
No.
Come on, 4.
The 6 is going to catch him. The 6 is changed leads and is going by him.
Oh, really close for second. I couldn't see that.
I think the 4 might have nosed it out.
It was very,
all right,
close.
Scotty, good call.
Thank you. It was the trip. The horse did not get out of the gate very good, but it was the trip that I saw with the 7.
But see, this is the key with when you're looking for overlays. I would still, in an NHC contest, looking at the board at the last minute, I may have thrown a bet in on a 1 because this horse, was hanging in there for a long time. And it was the lone speed. And if you get a speed favoring track, you're getting a gigantic price.
9 to 5.
And he packed it in late.
Right. 9 to 5.
9 to 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Irad money.
Let's see here. They're going to show. We'll see if the 6 or the 4 got.
Oh,
4 got the head bob. 4 got the head bob.
The 6
7,
had the original. Yep, got it. 7-4.
Yep. 7,
right.
4, 6. There we go.
Right.
You got some points. That's good. All right. Gulfstream Park race number. This is why I like the feeders so much, David. Look, in 3 minutes now, you've got Gulfstream Park race number 3 coming up. It's usually about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes where you have all 6 races and you're done. That's fantastic. We'll show that race live. That's coming up in 3 minutes from Gulfstream Park, so you're not going to want to miss that. You might as well get out there and see and revisit. You are on the 7. I am on the 7. We were both a little. Look at the EE morning line. We talk about how accurate it is. Look, Oddsmaker has the horse at 7-2. The horse is 6-1 right now. So, and then look at the he did a nice job with the morning line on the 3. That horse is 3-1. Look at the value though on the 5. You have a horse that the EquinEdge morning line says 8-1. Problem is it's only 2%, no doubt about it. But this is where you can find some value. What about the 4 horse? It's 6-1 EE morning line. It's 4% first time starter, and the horse is 25-1, 26-1 now. This is what you're looking for. I'm just saying when you're trying to find some value, maybe throw some prop bets or a win bet or even a show bet for that matter, if that's what you like. But and even the 2 horse we talked about that maybe could go gate to wire is 17-1. Too low of odds on the 1 horse for me. What about you?
Yeah, let me just pull that up. Hold on a second. We're in the 3rd race at Gulfstream?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just pull that up. Just bear with me. For some reason, my computer is slow. Oh, 1 minute to post. Okay, yeah, I was way behind. Yeah, I can't. Like I said, I mean, this horse is 0 for 15. And look at the board, 6-5. All you have to tell me, without even looking at a racing form or looking at anything, somebody comes up to me and says, I love this horse. He's 0 for 15. He's 6-5. I'm like, don't play it. No upside. unless you're playing horizontals and that's your single of the day. But I would never single an 0 for 15 maiden unless everybody else is 0 for 15 and higher. Yeah, I just think.
I will say this: the rail does super well at this trip here on these
Granted.
one-turn races over at Gulfstream Park.
Now, could this horse win? Obviously, but I don't want any part of any. Long term, I'm never playing that, and I'd rather go with the more lightly raced horses. So we both like the 7, but if you want to use the 8, even the 2, I think at 19-1 may have some upside. But so at 3-1, Scotty, at 3-1, we're getting. I think that's a real good price on this horse.
Sure, no doubt about it. I think Dave and Mike both like the 7, the 3 horse. Excuse me, 3-2 as well. 3 can win this race. I can't go with a bug that's never won a race. I can't. And the horse is coming off a layoff, and who knows how this horse is doing. It's in my mind, it's just too much of a risk. I don't see the risk at 7-2. It's not a risk to me. I can't choose that horse. The 2 horse now, I don't like the 2%, and I think that the 8 and the 7 are just as fast. My concern is I would love the 7 and I would bet it heavy if it wasn't for the 8 being similar speed on the outside. That's my concern. But I still think the 7's going to find a way to get the win. And here's the thing. Think about this for a second. The one's burned a bunch of money. The 2 horse might not be any good. We don't know. The 3 horse might not be any good off the layoff. We don't know that either. The 7 and the 8 could duel. The 8 could press the 7. And then all of a sudden, one of those first-time starters, the 4 or 5 wins. That's not unrealistic.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. But we didn't look
again,
we didn't look at Monmouth Park 1. Let's see here.
That goes off in a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
Is that an off the turf? Yeah, I didn't look at that.
So let's take a look here at the 7 horse they're showing right now. 7 looks nice. Looks very, very nice. That horse does not look like a lower claimer. Honestly, looks pretty good. So it looks we're getting 7-2 on the 7.
Okay, so they're both 7-2. I think is a solid price on either of those horses.
It really is.
Scratch number 3, Kinsman Redeemer.
So Kinsman Redeemer has been scratched. Well, Dave, Mike, now you're on the 2.
3 and daily double to the 3. Those players who had the 3 as part of the early pick 4 or the early pick 5.
Oh, they had 3-2. All right. I didn't think that's the worst play in the world. The 2 horse, blinkers on, speed.
Will be racing. The 3 will not scratch the 3. Kinsman Redeemer.
No, 3 at late scratch. So of the 3 horse, 7 is 4-1 right now. 4-1. Wow.
Yeah, that concerns me. The dead on the board thing, I have to admit, always concerns me.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
But wait till they take it. So the 1 will probably go down to 4 or 5.
I have to put a little bet on the 7. Well, now it went to 3, but the 1 just dropped to 3 to 5 with the 3 horse scratching. The 1, the 1, the 7, and the 8. All 3 dropped in odds with the 3 horse scratching, which is a drag for me. I personally didn't like the 3. Bombs away, Mike. Mike's got the right attitude always. Yeah, bombs away, no doubt.
Definitely bombs away. Right. So I mean, if you have a 2.
What's that, Dave?
I'm sorry, Scotty?
No, I was just saying. I think the 2's going to have the lead. I think from the inside they're sending, and so that gives the horse. It's only raced 1 time, so we don't really know what the upside of the 2 is. So it's in my mind, it's just a crapshoot. Right. Blinkers are added. Yeah, exactly.
Right, and it's a weak field, and listen. Bad horses win bad races at times, right? It's a bad race, and you don't have a horse with a lot of ability could win. And Wicked Strong. I mean, I think this horse. you see the GSR for off track on this horse? Hey, it looks like his breathing is not bad for off track. Hard spun, wicked strong. Speightstown, I believe, liked mud. Yeah, the more that I look at it, I'm like, hey, I've seen worse plays than the 2 at 18-1. That would sure shake up the leaderboard on the feeder. All right, so they're approaching the gate. Let me see if I have it on my feed.
All right, there they are. We're going to show it. I really like this 7 horse. I just worry about the 8 horse on the outside of it, but I genuinely like that horse a lot. I think the 7's the horse to beat.
Hopefully the 7 changes leads today and likes the sloppy track.
Well, it had every right to need that last race too, so why not?
Edgar and Zayas looks for 2 in a row. Amazing Woo and Performante, the last 2 to go up.
All right, good luck, everybody.
Amazing Woo, 3rd start of the racing career.
Good luck, everybody.
That leaves Sonny Leone.
Let's hope for a good break from the 7 and the slow break for the 8.
6 furlongs to the journey. There in the gate.
The 1 is acting up a little bit in the gate. That's what the holdup is. So maybe we can get that horse to break slow. That's that's not good chemistry between the jockey Zayas and the 1 when you have that initially, because it really messes with both of them. And so for those of us that played against the 1, that's a good sign. He hops back aboard.
And
7 got a flyer out of the gate. 1 broke good though.
Start from Prize Cats at the back. Good start from between horses for Tattoo on this town. I'm Still Brave has speed. Here's the gray Amazing Woo on the go. Splitting horses, True Cats away 5th, Performante. Now the trailer, Prize Cats. And the run to the half-mile point. Not much pace on. They're almost 4 in line here. On the far outside, it's Amazing Woo. From the inside, Tattoo on this town. Shuffled back to 3rd is True Cats. At the rail, it's I'm Still Brave. The favorite is 4th. Up to 5th goes Performante, and the trailer is Prize Cats. In around the far turn through a 22-4 opening quarter. On the outside, it's Amazing Woo with a half-a-length edge. Toward the inside, Tattoo on this town goes right with him. And here's the move from Zayas on race favorite I'm Still Brave. Circling horses and on the move, Performante driven into 4th. They reach the top of the stretch. Tattoo on this town. He has the lead. 3 wide. I'm Still Brave from between.
2's running huge.
Performante is 4th at the rail as they straighten for the drive.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 1's going to get him.
Yeah.
Come on, 2. Hang on for a second for the boys.
At the rail,
Come on, 2. Hang on for a second.
16th to go.
Maybe win.
On this town, he's digging in here. Outside,
hang in there, 2.
Brave, gaining the upper hand.
Wow, what an effort.
Just in front.
Wow.
Hard-fought odds-on victory.
Well,
What? See? Yep.
Look, the 7 actually had no excuses. None. 0. 7 broke good. Yeah, that was
no. The 7 may not have cared for the track. Was a little wide. The 7 didn't have anything, but again, that was the play. The 2 horse, right?
It was. Now, hey, listen, we talked about the Zayas having a good day. Look, I mean, has he won 2 or 3 or all 3? Let's see here. The 3 horse, the jockey, no, it was Gonzalez, so he won the last 2.
Yeah.
Yep, Zayas and Zayas. So watch for Zayas.
Well, okay, so right, and at that price, you don't know. I didn't anticipate the 2 would go off at such a high price when obviously these are mandatory races. They're pick and pray. But if I was sitting there and this race was alive, I think I would have changed my play to the 2 just because of the value. So that's a good call, Mike. You got 2 angles, blinkers on. And then you've got a sloppy track, and this horse seemed to be bred for a sloppy track, in my opinion. So that was the play. Yeah, good call.
All right, let's.
But unfortunately, I couldn't change my pick. This is a pick and pray.
Yeah, goes up.
But I did put a little bob on it for real money. So
10-8 is the play here in race number 1 at Monmouth.
Autumn's Turn. Autumn's Turn goes in. To the outside post, Rocky Seas. 8 races on the docket to kick off this racing week. Good luck to you.
Sloppy track.
We're ready to
over
go.
At Monmouth. Races are off the turf.
And
whoa, the jockey dropped the 2.
At the break for number 2, Summer Flower.
Looks like the jockey's okay.
Melissa Iorio,
that was very dangerous.
Sitting up right now, but
that was
Summer Flower
Iorio.
loose on the course. Rocky Seas from the outside post has the most
speed. It was 8
to
to 1.
rail and leads the way into the clubhouse turn. Rocky Seas on top by about 2.
So we'll be an inquiry.
Scotty, I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Inside of
okay,
her,
go ahead.
Autumn's Turn in the 4th position.
Scotty,
3 lengths
I'll be back in 2.
Another 4 back to Lily the Kid. And Me So Lucky is the trailer as they.
So I think the thing you want to look for in races like this, in the first race especially, is how the course is going to play. Right? How will this third horse play?
Leader. A gap of about
we'll
2.
See.
Duchess of Destin runs in the
this
second.
Loose horse is not helping
the
the 10 whatsoever.
Autumn's Turn now moves through between that pair.
Oh, the horse seems to be relaxed.
So Lucky, passing Lily the Kid, who is at the back of the pack now, and Melissa Iorio has been guided off the course. So the stretch
8 horses
is
in
clear for the rest to continue.
Like
they
one,
approach the
the
4th
8
turn. Rocky Seas still the leader, but the margin has decreased. It's only about a half length. Duchess of Destin turning up the pressure into the turn.
So,
Autumn's Turn in the meantime is sent hard.
I don't think that's the 8 and 3rd, is it? Yeah, it is. The big favorite 1 to 2 is losing ground. So here's a race between the 10 and the 5. And the 5's got the measure for sure.
It's a match race on the lead between Rocky Seas and Duchess of Destin. Duchess of Destin.
It's not a match race anymore.
Rocky Seas, and Duchess of Destin swings off the
jockey in the 10 is going to try to go to the outside. 8's making actually a little bit of a comeback. 10 figured out, and 5 is going to be really tough to catch here.
Autumn's Turn into the second position. Rocky Seas has retreated to 3rd. 100 yards to go. Duchess of Destin, Joe Bravo on top, and they will prevail. Duchess of Destin wins it.
On the 5.
Autumn's Turn was 2nd. 3rd home Rocky Seas.
All right, let's see what the story is with that. 5 ends up getting off at 5 to 1, was 2 to 1 on the EquinEdge morning line. That's super interesting, right? And then on the simulator was, if you go to the stretch, was right there. And if you're using the simulator, remember that the last call is the least accurate. So I think you should always run stuff to the stretch as well, and then make your own opinion based on the actual metrics. So, and also the 5 is second off the layoff, going from a 42 to a 40, from 9% to 13%, and from a 51 GSR to a 59. Those are all the things you're looking for. And then 2 to 1 on the line, right? Because that horse had a big layoff too. So at the 5, if I'd have seen that ahead of time, I would have wanted to play that horse. All right. What do we have to cover next? We've got Gulfstream Park 8 is where we left off. Let's get out to Gulfstream Park, race number 8. Nice going, director. Okay. I eliminated the 6 and the 7. Now we were talking about this. Dave, I think, is liking the 3 horse. Look at the GSR's fit here with the 3, so certainly the 3 fits. I'm just not really a fan of the surge indicator dropping more than 10 points. And when you see the surge indicator going down, now in fact the 1 horse is going up 10 points or more. So we'll take a look. The 3 horse still fits, and they do win. But I find that I can beat more of those horses that have a surge indicator going down. I can beat them. I love to see when they're going up. And 7 to 5 on the 1 EquinEdge morning line, and 23% win. EquinEdge long shot. I think there's a big case for this horse that's dropping in class. You can throw out the last race. So let's throw out the last race. It dropped down to a 48 GSR. It didn't like the only turf experiment, so throw that off. And then it broke its maiden against a 48 group by 4 1/4 lengths. And then it went up to a 64 group. So look at the levels: optional claiming 50, a non-graded stakes race, state bred, and now it's dropping in for a 25,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime, maybe where it should have been in the first place. And it was running against these better fields. Only 6 lengths back at the stretch, 8 lengths back here. It's likely to run a really good race. David, you had mentioned you like the 3. I kind of like the 1 a little bit, but I still want to look more in depth at the 4 and 8. But I'm kind of, so far, I'm liking the 1 horse.
Yeah, that's the other horse, Scotty, that I did have interest in. And this horse raced in a 75 claimer last time on turf, dropping way down. Looks like the breeding is decent for an off track. Third on an off track. And again, the first thing I look at on off tracks is have horses in the race had past success on off tracks. So that's what led me down the path to use the 3. But I see your point. You like the 4.
I like the 1 a little bit, but the 4 and the 8, they're logical as well.
Oh, absolutely.
We have to look at that. But I mean, when I look at this horse, I don't like to see that this horse didn't run a lick in these last 2 races. But now the win percentage goes up and the GSR goes up. We talked about this. I'm probably going to end up going with this 4 horse because it's 12-1 in the odds makers morning line. But look at the last race: 62 SOR today, 54, much easier competition. The 11% win today's 26, and the GSR 58 today, 67. I don't even want to overthink the damn thing. Anytime when I do my coaching classes, this is what I'm telling people to look for, and here it is right in front of us. So, the 1's dropping in class and all that, but its form looks like crap the last 3 races. So for me, I already know I'm going with the 4.
Okay, and the 4 hasn't started on a wet track, so we don't know how the horse is going to perform on a wet track. So that's when I'd give a shot. And the horse has never raced on a off track before, but I prefer the 3. And I guess I'd use the 1 or the 4 second, but in my secondary pick. But
and there's nothing wrong with the 8 as well, right? The 8 Antonio Sano takes this horse, but he's only 2%. And 4% with first-time horses, and off the layoff 2%. I mean, that's just super bad. But again, we talked about this. Like that's why metrics are so much better than statistics, because these machine learning algorithms can see things that we can't see. In a normal situation, I'm seeing a stat like this, I'm not even touching this horse. But it's 29% to win. It's 8-5 on the EquinEdge morning line. It's the top Scotty pick. So there you go.
Right, and the horse, you got to figure it's much lower class now for this horse. This horse did show a little life on April 7th in that 40,000 non-winners of 2 up here in New York, but was previously trained by Chad Summers, and there's a V there. It's a voided claim. Yeah. So obviously this horse was claimed, claim was voided, layoff, ships down to Gulfstream. So you got to show me that this horse can still run.
And I will say this too. Of course, we see the level, not 40,000 non-winners of 2L, and today's 25,000 non-winners of 2L. But many of these horses are going back and forth and switching to these. And you can see here. In fact, you've got droppers here. I would not even argue with you. I would tell you right now that this race here today, with the 4 horse being in there dropping in class, the 1 horse dropping in class, the 1 and 4. This race is much tougher than what the 8 horse faced last time out.
Correct.
And so the only thing throwing me off a little bit, the win percentage of the horse, and also it's the EquinEdge top pick. And by the way, this horse must be doing good, because you're not going to get Edgar Zayas to ride the horse, and Edgar Zayas could win 5 or 6 races today.
Yeah, it's off to a pretty good start, that's for sure.
So tough. So I know you're going with the 3, correct?
Yes. And I guess if I was having a second entry, I'd be 3. I'd go 3-4. Forget the 3-4. Change my mind.
Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit with the one horse. Jaramillo's aboard the one, and this horse is just look. It broke its maiden easily, and then it's been facing tougher horses in the last few races. I'm throwing out the last race, and then there's 2 races here, and those were just much better competition. This one's a major player. It is a major player. There's no doubt about it. So I'm struggling between, and look, Sonny Leone's off the one horse, but he didn't run good. So. And look, it's a couple of things going on here. Barbosa takes over. He's 23% with first-time horses. And then he puts on Jaramillo, and the jockey-trainer combination is 21% in 149 races. Okay. I'm going to do the one. Okay. I'm going to do the 1. I'm going to do the 4, 1. And then I'm going to do the 1, 4 on one of them. So since I have 2 entries, I'm going to put on both. Yep. Okay. All right. Monmouth Park race number 6. Do we have any of the feeder races coming up? Saratoga's coming up in 7 minutes.
So we got 7 minutes to Saratoga. So we got Monmouth race 6. So this was on the. Let's see here. Yeah. This. Be honest with you, Scotty, this Monmouth race. Now, do we have any late scratches because of the track condition?
The 4 and the 9 are scratched.
Four and the 9. That doesn't. The 9 I may have used.
Well, it doesn't
Scotty,
matter
I really
now.
struggle with this race. In all honesty, I can knock holes in every horse in this race, and also make a case for every horse.
Well, let's look at the 8 horse. The 8 horse is clearly a horse that. Let's start with the pace of the race.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 8 horse is going to have the lead, and it needs the lead. It's 6-1 on the EquinEdge morning line, and the win percentages are wide open. So what's interesting is, and we'll look at this 1 horse, Our Little Tiger. It's a horse to watch, but it's the top win percentage, and it's 8-1 on the odds makers morning line, or our morning line, excuse me. The 7 horse, Wait a Second, also is a type of horse that needs to be forwardly placed. So I would imagine the 7 is going to be pressing on the 8 a bit. And the system has the 8 horse dropping back. And it barely won against a 44 group, even having an easy lead. The GSR is the same, win drops, and the SOR goes up. 3 wins in 21 tries. I say the 8's going to stop, but go fast enough to just hurt the 7 horse, who is best on the lead. Also only has 3 wins in 21 tries. Yeah, I got that right? Yep. So now I'm going to throw these 2 out. And this is what it looks like. It looks like the 5 horse, but this 3 horse is super interesting. It's the EquinEdge second pick, and it's dropping big time in class. All right. Have you had enough time to look at it?
Yes, Scotty. This is, although it's at Monmouth, this race is right up my alley. The late scratches are just the 2 and the 6, correct? I wanted to make sure. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So
4 and 9 are scratched.
Am I looking at the wrong race?
Race number 6.
Oh yeah. This is the race I really had problems with. That's why I'm trying not to look at it.
Okay.
Some races that you find when you get to the NHC, same thing is maybe an optional, or say this is a mandatory, I'd be really struggling, but you got to make a pick. And with these horses that usually take turn at this level, they take turns beating each other, right? We're in $8,000 claimers. So I know this sounds like a weird type of theory, but keeping in mind that these claimers are in and out of form at that level, any horse that's won last time out for either a lower class or that same class, I'm probably giving a pass on or fading to a certain extent. So that would eliminate the 5 and the 8 to me.
Yeah.
I originally thought the 9 was a big contender. To me, this came down to either the 3, 6, or 7, and I was hedging back and forth. Now I'm looking to see who's got any off-track form. I don't see anything that appeals to me that much, but let me just check another. Okay, this just made my decision. So if you look at the 3 horse, Rose E. Holiday, this horse is 2 for 2 on a wet track And usually that's all I'll need. But looking at it closer is that this horse is second off a layoff, drops down from 16 to 8, and plus the success over the off track. That's all I need to know. So I'm just on the 3, Rose E. Holiday.
What I do like about the 3 is it's going from a 60 SOR to a 54. It's second off the layoff. It's going from 2% win to 12%. The GSR drops a little bit, but you have to anticipate here that this horse is going to improve in this race. It just has to. And then when it was at a 54 level, it was 28%. It broke from the rail, and it doesn't look like it really had any trouble. It doesn't really have any speed either. But man,
that's
the simulator really has this horse closing. But didn't you say horses really don't close from that far back here at this track?
No, that was in reference to Saratoga.
Okay.
I think on as the track is sloppy at Monmouth, I think there's no problem closing from way off the pace. That track's a little different.
Well, I mean, and this horse is the class of the field. There's no question about it. But I mean, it hasn't been running. But I think you throw out the last race. It needed the race, and now they're going for the money run probably. But what about a horse like the 2 horse? I mean, this horse will be near the pace.
Yeah, that's a horse that I, looking back on it, yep. This horse, Wayne Potts, it's a trainer change from Jacobson, so that's the concern.
Right.
Until somebody wins claiming off Jacobson or moving a horse from Jacobson's barn to their barn, you got to show me. So that's why I faded this horse a bit. And again, you're right with the 3, not a lot of speed. So I
can't use the 7 because the 7 horse, it seems to need the lead, and the 8's faster, and the 8 needs the lead. 3 wins on this for the 6 horse in 41 races. I think this race is going to be. I think we have to consider the 2. The 1 horse is a horse to watch. I mean, this horse might run a really good race. I mean, but at the end of the day, look at the form of the 5. It ran that good race last time out for 5,000, 16. Like almost everything looks identical. The simulator has this horse winning. I see a similar trip for this horse. If you look at it last time out, it broke from the rail. It was off slow. The time before that, it stumbled at the start. Look at step slow before that, bad start before that, 4 to 5 wide before that. And this horse was even 4 to 5 wide last time out. I think if this horse can somehow just break decent in this race, I think it wins this race. I don't think it's going to be much. The 3 horse is the interesting one, the horse you like, David. I agree. It's going to be closing. It's dropping in class. But, and the 1 and 2 have really good win percentages. Look at the top 2 win percentages.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you know what I don't like about the 1? For whatever reason, the system seems to always like the 1. Look at the win percentages for the 1. 43%, 21%, right there. I mean, they're always high, and the horse always loses. And now it draws the rail and it has 4 wins in 36 tries. Even this 2 horse has 3 wins in 28 tries. At least this horse, the 5 horse, we know likes to win. And then at least this horse, the 3 horse, we know likes to win, is dropping in class. And we know that one of the top 3 EquinEdge picks, between the top 2 picks and the long shot, wins like 70% of the time. It's something like that. So, Mike, to answer your question too, many times that's why I lean towards the EquinEdge picks. Although I go away from it a lot too. But what I see is that one of the top 3 picks wins almost every race. So I think that I try to hedge my bet. But I'm gonna go with the 3 on one ticket. I'm gonna go with the 5 on another. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so 3 for Scotty is 3 and 5. Okay.
Yeah, 3 and
Great.
5.
Scotty, they're loading in the gate.
Close time. They're loading in the gate for the 3rd.
Okay, leave it. Go ahead and leave it up, and then I'll put it here.
Okay. Good luck, everybody. I need the
Good luck,
6.
everybody.
I need the 6. Who's 5 to 1. The entry is 4 to 5. So where I am in the contest, I'm hoping if my horse doesn't win, the entry wins. My horse finishes second. You don't want any long shots when you're in that position. Even moderate
Last few
price
left
shots.
to load. Inherent Promise coming up. They're in the gate. A little bit of movement there from Tis Wicked Strong. Straightening up. And they're off. Tis Wicked Strong came out smoothly, as did Daily Grind along the inside. Tom Collins is the gray, and he's quicker than all, so Tom Collins is up to take the lead. Storm Ready Whitecap is up and on the pace too, and Clever Mischief makes his move right into second. Tom Collins the leader. Clever Mischief takes second. Storm Ready is now racing in third. Down at the rail, it's Daily Grind, who's fourth at this point and 4 lengths off the lead. Passive Management is the first-time starter, settling nicely in mid-pack, 5 lengths off the leaders as they make their way around the turn. The opening quarter went 24 and 4/5 seconds, followed by the Wicked Strong. Inherent Promise is second to last, leaving Steadfast Resolve at the back of the field. Down the backstretch, Tom Collins under a nice hold, and Clever Mischief, trying the turf today, is just a neck back in second, traveling comfortably enough. Then it's the Wicked Strong moving through along the inside on even terms, with both Daily Grind between rivals, and Storm Ready is just outside of that.
They're crawling.
Passive Management, comfortable 51 and 1 for the half mile. Inherent Promise is down on the inside, and it's another 3 back to Steadfast Resolve. Tom Collins pressed throughout by Clever Mischief, and those two are on even terms midway on the far turn. Now Steadfast Resolve is asked to pick it up from the back of the field. He's still last. Entry mate Storm Ready is right there in third and swinging out for the drive. Passive Management is finding his best stride. They're a furlong from the finish, and Clever Mischief has put away Tom Collins and quickly opened up a 4-length lead. Inherent Promise is coming through along the inside. Continued progress from Passive Management late. Clever Mischief and Flavian Pratt taking
David.
the score by
Good call.
Inherent Promise was second. Passive Management got
5-1. Woo! That was
Bad ground, first time on turf. This horse, and I did point out that this horse. What I also like, this horse has stayed in Saratoga. This horse has been up in Saratoga. Did not ship back down to Aqueduct and then ship back north. Time to get acclimated. First time turf, 5-1 on Chad Brown.
Nice going. That was that was all you. That was all you on that one. That was your type of play. You saw that, and
that again. The thing is, look yourself in the mirror. If I don't play this horse because he doesn't have any form on turf, and that's usually your angle, and you miss getting a seat or a qualifier, right? So you stay with your angles if you think it's a good angle, because sometimes it works. And the one entry didn't even hit the board.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Gulfstream Park 4 is coming up. You have the 4. I like the 4 hours for sure. You were right. Mr. Rhodium is going to be the favorite and is the favorite currently. And but that horse has burned a lot of money.
How many minutes to post on that, Scotty?
They're about a minute to post.
Okay.
Let's see here. So we'll go.
Wasn't that a perfect ride by Flavian?
Amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Slow pace, stalking off the pace.
Let's run this.
You know, I might bet Tom Collins back. He showed speed off a layoff, the 5 horse, and maybe cutting back in distance on the turf.
Yeah. So here's the race simulator. It's got the 4 horse beating the 3 horse. All right, let me refresh this really quick. Okay.
Congrats, Catherine, on that exacta.
Yeah, nice exacta. 6.67. That's going to pay super good.
Do you have it?
All right, they're on the track over for Monmouth Park, race number 2. That's coming up in 4 minutes from now. And David, how do you envision this race playing out? Just the 4 winning, but by the way, the 4 is the favorite right now at 3-2, just below the 3 horse at 8-5.
Yeah, let me just pull up my notes again on this race. We have the 4. Yeah, I mean, again, it's the drop down from a maiden special to a 35, blinkers on. That's 2 angles that I like. Yeah, so I'm solidly on the 4. Now, the 4 is the second choice over the 3 at this point?
The 4 is the favorite over the 3 right now, barely.
Barely. Okay.
Yeah, 3-2 over 8-5.
And I think
it's aboard the 3 horse. He's on fire. That could play a role. The 4 horse, though, the 4 horse is a tough one for handicappers to see because the horse ran so bad first time out. It's a lot easier for a handicapper to bet a horse like the 3 horse that's been second 3 times and third 3 times in 11 tries. That's why the numbers are such a huge help. The E morning line is 7-5 and 41% win. Top EquinEdge pick, top SOR or second top SOR next to the 6. Yeah, for me, it's about the 4 horse who currently now is your 7-5 favorite. So getting bet late.
Yeah, this horse has a similar profile to this previous horse that ran. Mr. Rhodium looks just like the lines for I'm Still Brave. One's 0 for 11, one's 0 for 15. Every race that Mr. Rhodium runs is pretty decent. You got seconds, 4 second, third. Just doesn't have the winning profile. I'll let a horse like that beat me every time.
All right, they're going into the gate. There's the 3 horse.
Hope you dance going forward now, Mr. Rhodium.
With the Adresias, there's your second time starter, 6-5 right now. Goes in nicely. There's the
I'm looking at pretty good shape here in the leaderboard.
Yeah, unbelievable. You're crushing so far.
We have Stephen Berdar on top, and I'm probably locked into the qualifier now. Even though it's always nice to finish first, so let's go 4.
Let's go 4.
Bragging rights.
Just get a good break out of the gate. We got a good break.
Touch slow. The other favorite was away excellent. Ours for sure, ridden for the yearly lead by Van Dyke, and he'll get it from Bivol, who moves to challenge in second. At the rail, that's Hope You.
He looks like he's going nice and easy.
Out the back early, Mr. Rhodium in the run past the half-mile point.
I don't like the 7 horse pressing us like that. Like Van Dyke's not really. I don't know why his elbows are in. Like I really don't. Like go. That's the horse.
21-4 for the opening quarter.
Unless he thinks he's got so much horse that.
These 2 continue to spar. 3 back to
yeah. 3's going to be really wide. 7's already asking. So we look good right now, but come on, ask away. Let's go.
Shot at him. 3 back to Bivol, then to the outside. Boyle
pull away.
Past the 8th pole.
There we go.
It's ours for sure.
He's not getting by.
He still has the lead.
You see how he's working the 7?
Yep. Listen, this horse drifted up. Well, it got down a little bit, but yeah, ended up getting off at 6-5. But a win's a win.
In 57 flat.
Southern ran a good race. Yep, Sultan the Great. Now the thing, looking at this, I don't want to red board or anything, but this horse was dropping from a maiden special weight to a 25 claimer, 3rd start, blinkers on. So that is an angle that I could live with, but made the winning pick, so it's not going to.
Well, you're at the top now, right? You won that feeder.
Yeah, I should have. I should be at the top. What's that? Yeah,
you won that.
So I'll be at the top.
Well, that's
it. I have won the feeder.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter if you win a feeder or finish 30th, right? So, but you still like to see your name on top. You get the bragging rights,
Absolutely.
So, thanks.
Yeah, nice going.
Can only be good for our show, right? You want to pick winners. You don't want to pick losers. Help people. We're here to help people out. I have 2 seats already, but I mean, I'll enter the qualifier and maybe I'll be chasing you, Scotty. If with another high finish, then I'm going to be.
Yeah. I hope so. So we might as well show it. Monmouth Park race number 2. I love to give Monmouth Park. They give us the feed, the simulcast feed, and so I like to support them. And because it's just we want to encourage these tracks that are sharing their feeds with us,
Right.
Right. If you throw out this last race against a much better field with the one horse, it's 11-1 right now. It's 22% at 9-2 EE morning line. I'm just saying, like, this horse can run better. This is not the best field in the world. I think it's very competitive. This 3 horse who's your favorite has burned a lot of money, and it's 6-1 on the EquinEdge morning line. So why not put the 1 in there somewhere? This horse seems to need the lead in the 5. I'm kind of liking the 1 at 11-1.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at the race, to be honest with you, but let me take how many minutes to post?
They're going into the gate, but I'll take a flyer on the 1 horse to be in the money.
All right, let me just see if I can get anything here.
Made Birdie. Here's Made Birdie. Jorge Vargas.
I would take the 4. You press me,
Okay.
I'd take the 4.
Okay.
And they're off. Lovely Charm was off a step slowly from post 3. Arrozan put into play early as an arrow lead. Here comes Gold Rush Hottie, who snatches the lead away. Gold Rush Hottie, the pace second. Arrozan and Utopia Rose, a joint second now outside of Arrozan.
18-1 off on the 1.
Foolish Challenge.
Yeah,
Along all
that's an
really
overlay.
fourth, so is Lovely Charm right behind. And Made Birdie is dropped to the back while out in the early stages. Gold Rush Hottie is first, quickest, leads by a length. Utopia Rose right on her tail now second. Arrozan shaken up, shown more rain while backpedaling, going in the wrong direction. Foolish Challenge is on the rail, just past her. Big
Four's
gap
got
back to
nothing.
Lovely
Here
Charm.
comes your 1.
The 2 stablemates
Yeah.
have got to get going. They all do. If they want to beat Gold Rush Hottie, who's cruising on the front end.
And 2 is running
Gold Rush
easy. You're not
Hottie,
catching the 2, I don't
Paco
imagine, but I don't
Lopez in
know.
Control off the turn from Utopia
Why the
Rose
jockey's
in the
looking
second
around
slot,
right now, but
chasing hard, but Gold Rush Hottie is still in control. On the
no, the
outside,
1's going to beat her
Utopia
out.
Rose second.
Here
Lovely
comes the
Charm
3
is putting
horse
in a
who's
late
just
save,
moving really
and Lovely
nicely.
Charm
2's
is
not
running
changing lead.
alive
3's
on the
going to catch this horse
outside.
easy.
Gold Rush Hottie in deep
Oh, look at the
water.
jockey
Here comes Lovely
on the
Charm.
3.
Oh, he's
Bouncing, taking the lead away.
Got a little close, didn't he?
Lovely
Came in there,
Charm with a
3-2-6.
nice effort. Rolled home in the end to win by 2.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Close quarters, as they say. Yeah, he
Well,
was
look
just,
at
he
that.
knew he had to win. He's like, okay, don't hit this horse.
Why do we even
moving
try to
in
go away
5
from the EquinEdge top pick? I don't know. Who knows? All right, let's get back to our. Who do we went with the Gulfstream Park race number 8. We did that Monmouth race number 6. What did we agree with on that? The 3.
Race number 6 at Monmouth. Yeah, I didn't spend a lot of time. Let me just pull up my notes.
I went with the 3 and the 5
It was
on my 2 entries.
Yeah, what am I doing? And I've got to remember, since I'm now in the qualifier, I got to put these entries in. I got to remember to do that.
Oh yeah, you got to put them in. All right, Saratoga race number 7. We're going to get out there. I actually have a price.
I'm on
list.
the 3. Okay, yeah, because we shouldn't get moving on these qualifier races.
Yep. All right.
All right. So this. Yeah,
You
interesting
advanced,
race.
Eric?
And by the way,
Okay.
the
Way to go, Eric.
the-
Eric advanced. Nice going, Eric. My man.
Eric, what
Coaching class yesterday.
numbers are you? Third? Were you third?
Eric Christensen.
6160? Or it's
Wow,
a different
okay.
Eric? There's an Eric who finished. Yeah, okay. Just looking to see if there's any familiar names. So I'm in second. Stephen Bedard nipped me. I didn't realize he had the 7. So he nipped me 68.90 for first, 61.90. Eric Christensen 61.60. And we go down all the way
Nice
to
going, Eric.
30.
I love it. Eric got third.
Third, yep,
got
Eric. Right with me. Eric, you're within 30 cents of me. So hopefully the picks that we made today helped you. So that's congrats, man. And let's get it done in the qualifier. Let's get Eric a seat. We'll tie for first and second. He'll get a seat, and I'll build
on,
up
Eric.
4
Let's
points.
get
And my trend.
Let's get Eric in
My
the.
goal will be to chase Scotty down.
That's right. Let's get Eric in the the NHC. That would be a classic. That would be so amazing. All right.
All right, 7th race. Yep.
Look, let's run this. The 7 horse has a lot of speed. Okay, so Yeah, we've got to move fast, because I know you had a stop that you needed to get out at 3, and then plus we've got race number 5 at Saratoga that goes off in about 45 minutes. So we gotta move quicker. 7 horse has a big base.
All right, hold on a second. Let me pull that up.
Oh, that's
the 7th race. What?
No, I was
10
just
saying.
Set.
Yeah.
That's so brutal.
It's happened to me many times
by $1.30.
Right.
All right. What do you got in here, David?
All right. This is a very, very interesting, almost impossible race. And a lot of these turf races, it's the trip that wins. So, but I know these horses quite well. And again, this is an inner turf, mile and 3/16. I'm sorry, mile and 1/16. And it's just so wide open. I mean, I originally listed these 4 horses as my contenders, or the ones I want for contest purposes, which would be number 12, Frontman, 3rd off a layoff, and has 1 over the course. So he's a horse I would definitely consider using. It would be concerned a bit about the outside post in this, but this horse can stalk. This horse doesn't need to lead. So if we're at the right trip. And then number 4, Classic Creation. This is formerly trained by Jonathan Thomas, shipped up here, now trained by John Terranova. If you go back, this horse had a couple of nice races. When it broke his maiden at Tampa by 3 lengths. And then the race that I remember watching this horse and think it was pretty impressed at a big price was April 15, 23 at Keeneland off a short layoff. This horse ran a bang-up second. And I do remember this because that was a contest day, I believe, at Keeneland, and I was on this horse. So that's why I remember him. I don't know what happened last race. Maybe it was the 1 1/8. I'm not sure this horse, I'm sorry, 1.5 miles. I'm not sure he wants to go that far. So this horse is very dangerous. And you pick up Pratt, and I'm a turnover guy. So push. And the only other horse I mentioned is the 9, Heath Guard. This horse has got some sneaky back form as a dead stone closer. So basically, I'm looking at a couple of closers in Classic Creation, Frontman, and Heath Guard. So if I'm pressed in a possible race, I'm going to put Classic Creation on top of Frontman. So it's 4-12.
I had the 12. I felt like Frontman dropped from some facing. First of all, been very consistent. When it's at this level, it always runs good. So I feel like this horse is going to run good. But it only has 4 wins and 39 tries. But this race looks brutal. If you look at the race simulator, look from the stretch to the finish. Like they're going to be closing in on the 7, no doubt about it. What I like to do with races like this is grab on to who has some tactical speed. So when I see this and I see all these closers, the horse that could be the closest, and you can see a race like this race here back on 5/11 over at Churchill Downs. You know, this horse won its only start on the turf. And the GSR goes up to a 61. And Saez jumps aboard for Sharp, was claimed for $30,000 and still being protected. This 2 horses 3-1 on the EquinEdge morning line. And I like the pace number of 63, but yet the horse can rate. So I think this horse deserves a really, really strong look. Gilded Kraken. Again, the only concern I have besides the outside post for the 12 horse is the 4 wins in 39 races. I mean, that's pretty brutal. But this 2 horse is super interesting. I'm starting to really like it. And the other horse here that I really do think is the horse to beat is the 5 with Irad Ortiz. It's not a proven loser. It's got 2 wins, 1 second, 2 thirds. But here's the thing. Look at what this horse has done on the turf. It's done nothing. In 6 tries, it's earned $6,000, and on synthetic in 6 tries, it's earned $36,000. Can we trust this horse? It's the EquinEdge second pick. Mark Casse, Irad Ortiz. I didn't know what to think.
Yeah, I think the scratch of the 10, Drunk on Sake, really helps the 7's cause. So in a race that I thought was totally wide open, because the other speed has now scratched that, the 7 is going to be tough to catch, in my opinion, but the 2 should be maybe pressing a little bit, and also the 1. So, but again, it's a wide open race, and this is the example, this race, in my opinion, of a perfect NHC optional race, because you could most likely, if the 7 doesn't win, you're getting a decent price, and I would try to beat the 7.
So let's look at the 7 real quickly. Look at Johnny Velasquez rode the 3 and the 7 last time out. Now look at, he's on the 8 horse. He rode this horse twice to a second place finish by a quarter of a length and to a win last time out by 2 3/4 lengths, and he ends up on the 8. Why?
Yeah.
And it's not like Castellano and Morley have some sort of high jockey trainer combination. They're only 14%. Why is Johnny off? Johnny's not getting off of winners. For me, I got to play against the 7.
Yeah. Even though, like I said, if this horse goes wire to wire, would I be surprised? No. It takes some moisture. The inner turf is probably a little more speed favoring. I don't know what the rail's out, but yeah. There's question marks with this horse, but I'm going to try to. Just any other horse here is going to give you good value, so that's why I'm going to settle on the 4 at 6-1. Now with Pratt, Flavian Pratt on this horse, I'm probably not going to get that 6-1, but if I can get 4-1, I'd be happy.
Yeah, I felt, for me, this was the toughest race of the sequence. I really struggled with this race. I really do think you can make a case for almost every single one of them.
Yeah.
I will say this. I mean, this horse 2 back on the turf that Johnny Velasquez is on, the 8, at this same level, this horse lost by only a length and a half.
Right.
And like, it's interesting that Johnny ends up here. And, Johnny is one of the top turf riders in the country. So in what appears to be a wide open race, I don't know, maybe that's the way to go. I'm definitely not going to key in on one horse. I think what I'm going to do is I'm because of the post position, I think I'm going to go away from the 12. So I think that I'm going to go with the 2 on one ticket, and I'm going to go with the 8 on another.
All right, let me write this down. Scotty on the 2 and the 8 on the other ticket. Yeah, no, logical horses.
Yeah, and of course, I'm going to kick myself if the 4 horse wins because it's the top EquinEdge pick, but I'm going to go away from it. Yeah, okay. And again, I don't think there's any wrong answer here. I just think it's, the races are just really, really tough here. And so I'm going to, you can't go wrong too when you're talking about the turf, maybe jockey trainer combinations. If you see Mark Cassie and Irad Ortiz at 23%, that's a positive. The negative is for me, again, in 6 tries on the turf, this horse has not run a lick. I don't know what to make of it. Yeah, I got to go away from this 5. I can't do it. So, all right, you're on the 4. I'm on the 2 and the 8. Let's go to Gulfstream Park, race number 9.
Gulfstream Park, race number 9. This is the one race that I don't think. Hold on a second. Maybe I'm wrong. Just bear with me, Scotty. I just got to grab my notes here. Yeah, Gulfstream 9th. I have to look at again, but I'll make it pretty quick because I'm under time constraints here today. Let's see.
Yeah,
I wish my notes were more organized. That's the thing.
You're absolutely right. Thank you for that info too, by the way.
All right, 9th race at Saratoga, at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah. Just
refresh my memory. The scratches 3, 4, and 9.
Yes, sir. 3, 4, and 9 are scratched.
4 and 9.
No.
Right. I know who I was playing here. I started going through it. We have a couple of horses that I was interested in. The issue is now it's not on the turf anymore, correct? It's on the slop. Is this go to PETA? Yeah.
It's on the synthetic, right? So it's not. There's no sloppy. There's no listing.
Yeah. Exactly. It's right. It's always the same condition, and that's one of the problems. It's PETA. I'm just taking a shot with the 10. I mean, it's going to be the favorite. This is a drop. Well, they dropped down to 16 a couple of races back at Tampa, came back up for 16. That one was a 2 at a very, very low price. I'm just thinking that the outside post, this horse should stay pretty close to the stalking the pace. So I'm just going to use a logical horse here, the 10 Bellwether for Saffie Joseph.
Well, I think there's so much speed in this race as well. It's 3-2 EquinEdge morning line, top EquinEdge pick. It's 45%. Saffie Joseph, the 1 and 5 are going to duel. I think the 10 horse is just going to be closing like a champ. I'm going with the 10.
Okay, we're both. We have a lot of common horses today.
We do. We do. All right, Monmouth Park, race number 7.
All right, Monmouth Park, race number 7. This is another race right up my alley, a claiming race, going 2 turns. So, and some of these horses I watch run multiple times. So I have a pretty good handle on it, I think. So I'm looking for who's got prior form on an off track. And this race is pretty wide open, but I think it comes down to basically 2 horses for me. And I'm going to use the 4 American Law. Kelly Breen. This horse tried the turf 3 times in a row for some reason. Again, Constitution makes sense. The turf breeding a bit, but this horse did not respond too well on the turf. Comes back to the dirt, gets a off track, which this horse has won on before at Aqueduct back on December 2nd. So, horses for courses. He likes the sloppy track. So I am just going with the 4, and I'm using the 1 for my second off a layoff. This horse just won his last time out. Paco stays. So those look like the 2 logical horses to me. 4-1.
Okay, 4-1. David's going 4-1. Okay, and then I'm gonna I have not looked at this race, so I see speed here on the 3. I see speed on the 1 can rate a little bit, and it won easily last time out, which is not from the 10 hole. First time for Atris. Off the layoff and puts the horse in for 40,000, claimed for 32. It's just free money now. And the 1 could have the lead if it wanted it to, depending on what any of these horses wanted to do. So I definitely like that. This horse is faced a 62 group. This one it can rate a little bit. The 3 horse, it's not the worst looking horse in the world. There's really no pace in the race, which
there's a little bit of lack of pace, but if you noticed American Law, it can stay relatively close on the dirt. Sometimes not so much, but I think on this track, the sloppy track, this horse will be a little closer. And I love Constitution on sloppy tracks.
Look at the jockey trainer combination with Rob Atris and Paco Lopez. They're 80%. I mean, so they won 4 or 5 races. 8-5 on the EquinEdge morning line. Because there's no speed, it's going to make it very difficult for a horse like this horse to win. And yes, it won a 12-5 claimer going gate to wire at 28%. I don't see any. I think this horse is beatable. I think the 1 horse is going to be the horse to beat. You're going with the 4 horse American Law. Paco gets off of that horse. The jockey trainer combination with Rendon and Kelly Bream is 27%. So that's pretty good. What was it about this 4 horse you liked again?
Yeah, this horse is won, Scotty, on an off track, and in addition, this horse has this other race on an off track has a second. So this horse obviously has an affinity for a sloppy or off track. So that's and this horse can stay. It looks like may stay closer to the pace than some of the other races. And I like Constitution on sloppy tracks. So yeah, so I'm going to 4. I think the 1's going to be tough from the inside too, and Paco is going to gun or be right up there. So yeah, it's 4-1.
What do you make of this 3 horse? The 3-horse only lost by 4 lengths against a 66 group at 9%. The GSR goes up to 75. The win percentage goes up and drops in class here. Has earned 163,000, 11 tries on the dirt, in for $40,000. But and look at this horse has really been showing being on the lead of late. But if you look past here, I mean, this horse is rated. What do you make of this horse? Like, there's not a lot of speed in the race. I think you're going to see the 1 horse and the 3 horse on the lead most likely. The 4 horse will be sitting tactical. But the thing I do like about the 3, I will say this, David, is that it's got 4 wins and 14 tries. It's not a proven loser. Where the 1 horse has got 4 wins in 30 races. Now it's been in the money 14 tries, so I like that it's been in the money 45%. But and it's second off the layoff, and it won so easily last time out. I mean, it has every right to. It is moving 33% from 9% and facing similar. But this race is tough. It's not an easy race to judge. I would say here's another really tough race. Like, do you take a favorite in a race like this, like the 1? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I prefer to go with the price, a little bit of a price here. But you're right; it's a wide open race. It's an interesting race to me, but I'm sticking with the 4 over the 1. But Rock and Roll used to be a Brad Cox horse, and they dumped it for 14,000, which claimed and ran again for 20 of 2 victories. This horse is 4 for 14, so I can see why you like this horse, and has never won on a wet track, but Bolt d'Oro out of a Medaglia d'Oro could like the off track. So yeah, I mean, I could see that horse also.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
So Chowder Paul's got 2 horses. He's got the 3 and the 7 in this race. So, and the 7 is another drop down. And this horse is 4 for 19. So horse has got a shot.
Yeah, I got to stick with Paco in here. I'm with Mike.
Just call me right.
Yeah, I think the 4 is going to run a good race as well too. I'm really a fan of Rendon's, but I just think that the horse is 8-5 on the EquinEdge morning line, 33%. The 5 horse has no speed in a paceless race, and its only win of recent was Gate to Wire on the lead at 28%. So, and 4 wins in 36 races, 9 third-place finishes. More likely that the 5 horse gets 3rd. All right, I'm on the 1. You're on the 4.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Saratoga race number 8.
Saratoga race number 8. So we've got the Wilton Mile, 1 mile for 3-year-olds.
They're loading a GP. Let's just watch this race real quickly.
All right, Scotty, I'm going to have to
I know.
pick a race or 2. We've got a car coming at 3:40. So
no, do me a favor. What do you text me what you've got so I can let everybody know what you have, okay?
Okay, will do. I will tell you that Wilton Mile, I like the Dazzling Move number 7. But I'll text you the races now. I put my picks in for the qualifier, and sometimes I do better when I'm not watching. I'm not going to be watching until late tonight or tomorrow on the replay. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'll just watch this replay with race with you.
Okay, and then text me I think we have like 3 races left, I think, right? Just tell me what you like.
5 and 2 to the opening quarter. Back from
or text me.
Racing together with the Mar,
well, I'll tell you verbally as soon as this race is over.
Okay.
It's only 3 more races, right?
It is.
Thoughts on the press from second, 3 wide and social.
Okay, I'll do that. I get it.
At the rail 4th. The half was a picked up 48 and 4. The Mar is between horses, and Sir Saffer is last. Around the far turn they go. Mr. Crowley, his lead is a neck. Thought within a neck now, second, 3 back. Vladislav is 3rd. Social long distance is there, 4th.
There's 2-horse race between the 6 and the 8. 6 has got a horse. They're both all out.
Still cling to him, second, 3 back to Vladislav.
Figures to be a nice horse race. Looking around.
From between horses, Mr. Crowley, outside Thought. Thought starts to get serious. He takes the lead with an eighth of a mile.
All right, there's your favorite going. The 2-horse on the rail is running interestingly. The 8's kind of petering out a little bit. Look at this 2-horse going to win.
Thought definitely looking
Oh, the
around.
1-horse,
Vladislav
terrible.
at the rail. Vladislav gets through.
Yeah.
Thought probably beat himself.
Might want to watch that one.
Long distance.
Wow, talk about a late meltdown. So.
That was, yeah, that's exactly what that was. It looks like horses
All
are
right,
finishing,
so
but they're not. All right. So, David, we've got Saratoga.
all right, I'm going to give you my picks. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just give you my picks real quick.
All right.
So the Wilton Mile, the horse. This is a wide open race. This is and it comes out of that chute type of device, and it's a tricky post position for some of these horses. Striker Has Dial was up there June 6th, so and ran a decent race, showed speed on a speed favoring track, but that horse will be right on the lead. But the horse I'm playing is Dazzling Move. So in this race, I'm a big fan of Not This Time as a sire. This horse's last race was good at Laurel. First race shipping up to Saratoga, and it's a price at 9-2. So in that race, I would use the 7 and the 4. The 9th race, the Coronation Cup, 5.5 furlongs. This is my bomb, and I don't particularly love the horse, but I usually take one bomb. But I'm going to use the 5 if I had two. I think the 5's the horse I think is a likely winner at this distance for D'Angelo. So I'm going to use the 5, and I'm trying to get the 2 with a place bet. And I know it sounds crazy. A 12-5 maiden, 12-5 claimer, Breakers maiden. But I really was impressed with that turf horse. This horse could be an overachiever, and it's not this time. So it's 5-2 for me at Saratoga 9th.
Okay.
And then the 10th, I'm just going to give you the 2 horses. I like Over an Alley, number 7, and then number 8 if a backup ticket. So the 10th race, 7 and 8, and the 9th race, 5-2, and the 8th race, the 7.
Okay.
And I believe I'll get gutsy because I have 2 seats already. So I'm gonna put the 2 in our time on top in my contest.
Let's see here. 1 second. I texted Brad.
Yeah, Mike, thanks. Good luck to you, and maybe we'll see each other at Saratoga.
Eric, I've just been busy moving the last couple of weeks. We're going to kick it back this Thursday, so the weekend preview show will be back. David, good luck to you along the way. I know you've got a wedding to go to. Enjoy that, have fun, and then I'll finish this thing off. We're going to miss you, but we'll do this, and hopefully we'll do you proud and wish you all the best. Get it, okay?
Okay. Good luck, everybody. And we'll catch up with you again. Thanks for everybody tuning in. And I definitely appreciate it. And love doing the show. So thanks for all your positive support. And may the horse be with you for the weekend. Let's go. Let's crunch. We're going to crush Saratoga this weekend. Take care, everybody. Thanks again, Scotty.
Bye. You got it. My pleasure. Bye. We'll see you. All right. 2022 NHC champion, David Harrison, you guys. All right, so race number 8 over at Saratoga. Let's run this. I do have a play that I like. I like a lot. David has the 7 Dazzling Move, who is 15-1 on the EE morning line, 10%. But he's been on fire this morning, you guys, and he got his second NHC seat this past week. So we'd probably be wise to follow David, but. This is the Wilton Stakes. It's interesting. So, and I'll tell you why. So, Miss Justify is a horse to watch. It's Flavian Pratt jumps aboard. Irad Ortiz has ridden this horse 2 times in a row for Todd Pletcher and gets off of this horse. The horse won last time out easily against 11 other horses, and is 27% to win. GSR is the same at 78 and 8-5 on the EquinEdge morning line and top EquinEdge pick. So what's the negative? Well, Irad gets off to ride the 6-horse Bells Beach, who just broke her maiden last time out by 5.5 lengths against 10 other horses. The workouts are good, according to Bruno. But on the one horse, Miss Justify, our Tempest was much best over Miss Justify past the wire and pulled away. So we have a video of this. Let's watch this. So Miss Justify is on the outside. You can see the elbows of the exercise rider on Miss Justify on the outside asking, and the elbows never, ever reaching on the inside with Artipus. Now, as of yet, I don't know how good Artipus is. Artem Puss is. So that's a tough one. But, you know, what do you make of that? Do you stick with Miss Justify? Or do you go with this one? It's a really tough call. And Oldie said he likes the EquinEdge long shot, who is dropping in GSR by 12 points. Win percentage drops a little bit, but you've got the 1 and the 6 in there, so that makes sense. Is coming off a layoff, and Luis Saez aboard. I agree with you, Oldie. I agree. I think this horse is live as well. And then David likes the 7 horse, who faced a 60 group last time out, 35% win, and barely won against 5 other horses. I don't know why. He's hot. I mean, no doubt about it. I don't like this horse. The EquinEdge Morning Line doesn't really love the horse. It's dropping in win percentage, and it's facing from a 60 group in which it barely won, facing much better. And the turf tab is 10 points lower than the dirt tab. I can't go with the 7. I got, you know, I want to lean against the 1 horse, although it ran good last time out. I don't know what to think of the drill and Miss Justify getting beat pretty easily, and also Ortiz. I'm going with the 6. I'm going to stick with it. I have a feeling that this horse can be a nice horse. So I'm talking about Bell's Beach, and won by 5.5 lengths, breaking her maiden last time out. She looks like the real deal. So I ride Ortiz jumps aboard, so we'll stay there. All right, race number 9. David likes the 5 horse. You know what? Let's run the race. He also said that he thought the 2 horse, who's very interesting, and we'll look at that horse closer, but the 6 seems to have the pace advantage. The 5 horse, look at the 5, is 8-1 on the EquinEdge Morning Line. Here comes the 9, Cloudwalker, on the outside. So 9-1. The 1 is 7-2 on the EquinEdge Morning Line and 30% to win for Graham Motion. And this is the horse I ended up going with, the 1, on both my tickets, over the 9. The 5 is going to be right there, has rattled off 3 straight wins. It's coming off the layoff for D'Angelo. He's 13% off the layoff. And Saez was aboard for this win here, 2 back. And 3 back for that matter. Saez has ridden this horse a few times and looks like he has, 3 wins on this horse. So very, very hard knocking, 4 wins for this horse. This horse was 53% to win last time out, bred unbelievably well, an Uncle Mo filly, and for Graham Motion. And she almost has done nothing wrong, so I'm really liking her. Excuse me 1 second. Okay, so I'm going with the 1, understanding the 5 horse is live. David's going with the 5. The 9 horse is absolutely live. You can see this horse is going to be finishing like a champ. I'm worried a little bit that the horse might be a little wide, although there's only 8 horses in the race, or 7 horses in the race. Oh, maybe not. Actually, you know, now that the field is less, there could be some speed between the 6 horse and the 5 possibly. The 9's a player in here. It does drop in win percentage a little bit. It barely got up last time out, but it had the 10 hole for Brendan Walsh, and Tyler Gaffleone's aboard. But I was really impressed with this one horse. So I'm going to stick with the 1. That's where I'm going. But I think, and we'll look at the 2 horse. It's interesting. I saw this race. I was blown away by this. Look at what this horse did. It broke its maiden for 12.5 barely, and then goes on the turf against a 62 group. I just think the field was weak. I really do. I can't go with this horse. No chance. It was impressive, and you could have claimed a horse for 12.5 and got second and optional, claiming 75,000 over at Gulfstream Park. That's pretty impressive. I don't see it though. I think the race between the 1, 5, and 9, and I am going with the 1, 9. Okay, race number 10. Mike's got the 1, 5. Okay, the last race, David's got the 7 horse. Let's run the simulator. Let me eliminate this horse and this horse. Don't think the 6 is a player either, right? Let's see here. 6 Comanche Park. Faced a 40 group. I wonder why the system doesn't like this horse. This actually wasn't bad. There was a really nice effort, actually. Broke 12th and got second, but maybe this race just came up tough. Look, the 1 horse Torpedo Run got a top pace and it's 37%. We had talked about this before. I hate that the GSR is dropping, but the win percentage actually goes up. It's facing similar competition off a layoff, and it's Chad Brown. We saw this earlier with a horse that David liked, the 6 horse, who had a low GSR, and the horse still won. The horse is in for a tag. Flavian Pratt jumps aboard. Chad Brown takes over for Safi Joseph. The form looks terrible. And the workouts, 15 of 109 right here, 30 of 136, 9 of 102. The horse is actually training very nicely. That's a tough one. Look at the morning line. I mean, the morning line is like wide open, and look at the finish. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 horses at the wire. You have a first-time starter here in Beach Blanket. So many times we see first-time starters winning races like this. And it's an okay work. It was an okay work. The horse I kind of liked a little bit was the 9. Remember the Chief, 19%. And this horse is going on turf for the first time. I thought Jose Ortiz was aboard. The horse was closing really big. I thought this horse had a look. The 7 horse, if you throw out that last race, this is a really big drop. Many people believe this is the biggest drop in horse racing. I would tend to agree. It's dropping from a maiden special weight from a 50 group all the way to a 44. It faced a 48 group and 35% and barely lost 2 back. It's eligible to run better as well off the layoff. I mean, it was off a long, long time. So, and also interesting, Frankie Dettori jumps aboard. So you're looking at a really, really tough race. Saratoga 10. Dave likes the 1 horse Torpedo Run. I understand. The 5 horse Beach Blanket. Yeah, there's something about this horse I like a little bit as well. I think you can make a case for the 7 horse Fire Baron. How about this horse? If this horse wins, you're going to blow up the tote. The simulator only has this horse a length back, and it's 12 to 1 on the EquinEdge morning line. Same with the 4. Look at this. It's interesting that the simulator has this first-time starter only a length back at the finish. So, I mean, there's not much in here for the 1 to beat. But look, this horse has not run since 2022. And unfortunately, I mean, this horse is training really good, but has not run since 2022. So I don't know what to make of it. 37% to win. I mean, connections could be part of that. So it's a tough one. How about 6 to 1 on the EE morning line for this 12 horse? Wide first turn, ran good, and a big winner. So I have a good note on this horse, but it's 0 for 13 with 1 second and 2/3. But this is a very interesting horse as well. How about Guile or Goulet? Dropping in class. Win percentage stays the same. Has been running fair. Only has 4 starts. I'm leaning towards the 7 horse. Second off the layoff, Alberstall, Dettori. It had about a 9 or 10 month layoff. The workout reports are good. Let's take a look at this. Actually, we got Bruno workouts over in Ollie, outside of Mr. Skylight and Panay, and 3 across the track. And Ollie and Skylight went 47-2, 101 flat. Ollie went out in 3/4, so nice gallop out there. And then here, I think this one may be a turf sprinter, trains well, but the numbers show that this one can go and get 8.5. So I'm not sure about that, but let's see for ourselves as well and watch this workout from Bruno. Actually, we watched this workout. So outside of Mr. Skylight, so anybody tell who these who's who on the rail outside of Mr. Skylight? Who's on the rails? Over an alley, it looks like is in the middle. Hard to tell. I'm having a hard time understanding what Bruno's saying here. Who's where? Penny's too wide. Mr. Skylight is on the rail. So it looks like that's over an ollie. I think that's the gray, right? I think. Yeah, it is. All right, so he smoked on that workout. I got something different from that as a sprinter. I got as the horse won a distance. That's what I got out of that. But David likes the 7. I'm gonna cover the 7 on 1 ticket. I cannot take a horse that's been off since 2022. I cannot do it. It's 37%. The connections are amazing, and the horse is training unreal. So I'm going to do the 7 on 1, and I'm going to do the 9 on another. That's how I'm going to play that. So 7-9 and 9-7. That's how I'm going to do that. All right, you guys. Well, that was great viewership today too, and thank you to David Harrison, and good luck to you guys today in the tournament, and wish you all the best this weekend. Don't forget the Stretch Run show tomorrow. You guys will be bringing it again, and hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and appreciate you joining and tuning in. All right, we'll see you soon. All right.